Line up, you f***ing nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going to 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. What a beautiful intro. We're live for the money line. The Finch man is on the fucking road. Got a Bellator event. What's up, Mike?
What's up, man? Nothing too much. Little behind the scenes access here. Here's the hotel room. Bellator 283 going down tomorrow night. We're excited for that one. 3 people missed weight, bro. Some drama today, but we're all good over here. Main event's on, even though Douglas Lima was a little heavy. And man, I'm excited. We're gonna have a nice little double header here. Friday Bellator fights, Saturday UFC fights. You gotta love it.
You gotta love it, bro. And we got our guy Mads Burnell coming in. He's gonna be here in about an hour, 10 minutes. So towards the end of the show, Mads Burnell is gonna jump in for an interview, and we'll talk a bit about this weekend's fights. I'll bring up some comments to start it off with the Finch man.
All right, be specific there, Zigurand. All right, with your very trim profile picture there. All right, obviously someone who takes their physical health very seriously. Go ahead and be specific. What was I delusional on? Was it my lock of the night last week? The Leech by KO cashed, ladies and gentlemen, cashed that Leech KO pick. So me and AJ doubled up on that one, and you guys made some money from us. Was it that, sir? Let me know.
Oh, that's great, bro. I don't know the language, but Mads Burnell, we got Houdini Beats excited, man.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Denmark, right? Danish. Mads Burnell is one of the most exciting fighters in the game. Gotta love having him on. Buffo on the beat. Thank you, brother. I'm here for you, Buffo on the beat. I'm here for you.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's going to be a fucking hell of a card. I'm looking forward to the action, bro. I think it's a good one, man. I do.
Hey, we've had Curtis on the show, by the way. So, you
Facts.
know, tough for us to take this one with a 100%, right? Standing on the outside looking at it, because Curtis has been on our show. It gave us the pleasure of sitting down with him. So the man, Curtis Razor Blaydes, I see him around these Bellator shows and whatnot too, man. Curtis is going to whoop my ass if I pick against him. So stay tuned.
Well, listen, there's no bias towards my picks if I know them, you know what I'm saying? So nothing personal against whoever I'm picking against on the show or not. I still love you guys, but we got to get the right picks. Now, shout out to Devin Davis for the dono. Name a better duo than AJ and Mike. Also, Mads ain't as pretty as Danielle Kelly, but hey, we'll take it. That's fucking great. Devin Davis, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you with the donation. Much love.
I love it. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We about to fucking get it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go, man. Do you think we got to talk some current MMA news? Because we got a good amount of it. And I don't want to miss out on, I would say, the biggest announcement in the fight game. It's Khamzat Chimaev, Nate Diaz.
Ooh, let's go. I mean, how bizarre is this fight, AJ? How fucking... I saw your take on it, by the way. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, AJ did a whole video take. I have not done one yet, so I'll kick it off, all right? Why? Why are we doing this fight? I'm trying to figure out what is at stake here, because if Khamzat Chimaev wins this fight, he does exactly what everybody expects him to do, right? If Nate Diaz wins this fight, I mean, the UFC is in a crazy position. If Nate Diaz pulls this thing off, what are they going to do? They're going to have to re-sign him for $1 billion. I don't know what. Nate is peeing on the front lawn of the UFC Apex, right? Like, what is happening right now between the UFC and Nate Diaz? Lord knows that I don't know. All I know is that this is one of the more bizarre fights I've ever seen matched up. I do think a Nate Diaz-Conor McGregor fight made perfect sense. Obviously, Nate does not want to be iced until then. Dustin Poirier was knocking on the door. What is wrong with Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz? Why am I looking at a middleweight, Khamzat Chimaev, fighting a lightweight in Nate Diaz? AJ, explain this one to me. What is going on here?
Dude, I really just think Nate Diaz is following his gangster way of he'll fight whoever, fuck it, let's make the money. But there's got to be something that he sees. Like, he's got to think he has a chance. Like, he don't think he's losing the fight. Like, I don't know what he's seeing, though, because Chimaev is taller, stronger, better wrestler. I think he's more powerful puncher, probably the better kickboxer. Straight boxing, I mean, Diaz has good volume, good peppering shots, but he doesn't pack much of a punch. He's got a decent straight. Maybe he looks at that Burns fight and says, oh, if he's tired, maybe I get him in 4 or 5. I don't know. And if somehow Nate Diaz pulled that off, would that not be the most gangster win in UFC history? That would be the biggest fucking win and upset ever. I don't know what would happen. Chimaev might go disappear, bro. You might never see him again if he loses, like Drago Rocky type shit.
Dude, I have no idea what would happen if that went down like that. I will say one of the more gangster wins Nate already owns over Conor McGregor back when Conor was sort of, this unbeatable guy. He was being talked about as the next Muhammad Ali in MMA. Nate Diaz goes out there and stops him. So, he's done it before. It's just that this is not Conor. This is not a guy where like Nate is maybe a little bigger than Conor, maybe about the same size. This is ridiculous. Like this is not just Nate fighting a wrestler. You guys remember Nate had big problems with great wrestlers, and Nick and Nate Diaz would criticize being matched up by wrestlers. They just want to hold me, this and that. Here's the best wrestler we've ever seen. I mean, what is he going to do to stop Khamzat Chimaev? Really, the ball is in Khamzat Chimaev's court in this point. Like, does Khamzat use this as an opportunity to showcase his striking, to get another chance to sort of, right the wrongs that we saw in the Gilbert Burns fight? Because, for those of you guys who saw my recap of the Gilbert Burns fight, I think the biggest mistake he made is he was pulled into the firefight. He heard the fans going crazy in Jacksonville, and he was used to fighting in the empty arenas, right? So he's freaking getting gassed up, going toe-to-toe with Gilbert. That's not what his coach wanted to see, right? They wanted him to step back, use the length, right? Settle back down, make Gilbert miss a little bit. So let's see if Khamzat Chimaev is able to make those adjustments, because I'll tell you what, AJ, it's going to be loud in that arena. This will give, if anything, Khamzat more experience with that type of a main event, everything's on the line type of fight. The opposition, however, I can't see Nate doing anything to bother Khamzat Chimaev.
I feel like, yeah, it's a weird fight. Like Nate, I would say chances of winning are as much as like the odds have him at. Like he didn't look good against Edwards up until the last 10 seconds. He was controlled on the floor a bit. And I mean, you're looking at Khamzat Chimaev, who's way stronger, way better wrestling, more powerful, like levels above, I think. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think, like, what is the position for Nate? It's you lose, at least you're released from the UFC, you go do something else. But what happens if Nate gets stepped, or excuse me, if he gets starched?
Well, I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world, AJ. Like, they say, you hear challengers say this when they go up to fight a great champion. They say, I have nothing to lose. That's the selling point, right? I have everything to gain here. Everybody expects me to lose this fight anyway. So whatever I do is going to be impressive type of thing. I guess you could chalk that much up for Nate, right? What do I have to lose? But AJ, if we're putting ourselves in Nate's head, and it's fight day. What is it? September 10th, right?
Yep.
Week after my birthday. He's gonna be over there in the back of the locker room thinking, what am I getting myself into tonight? Right? Like, how do you walk out to fight Khamzat Chimaev with the skill set in the area that Nate Diaz is in, and have the confidence to say, I know I'm gonna win this fight? You can't be serious, So it is very bizarre. They might as well have given him Francis Ngannou.
I mean, that's also what he asked for. He said Adesanya and Ngannou. I think the odds are similar. I don't fucking know, man. Like, I want to see it play out. But Nate, you remember Rory McDonald throwing him around back in the day?
Great example.
Rory destroyed him on the ground. And I mean, Rory is not a bad wrestler, but he's not Khamzat Chimaev. And Nate's also 37 right now. I think Chimaev's going to work him and probably stop him. I wouldn't be surprised if he TKOs him on the mat and you see Nate get beat up pretty bad here. I mean, I don't want to say his grappling's overrated. He has good submissions. But when you think of Nate Diaz, it's not like, oh my gosh, this guy's so dangerous on the ground. Rafael Dos Anjos controlled him on the mat, destroyed his leg. I think Chimaev probably kicks the leg a bit.
That makes sense. Yes. I think, hey, if you're in Khamzat's corner, AJ, I'm saying strike the first round. What does he have to lose? Nate's not a Nate doesn't have that weapon, right? Nate has to accumulate. Nate has to get you a little tired first. So, you know, I'm thinking if it's the first round, Khamzat should try to showcase his striking a little bit, use the grappling secondary, use the grappling when the shot's wide open. Can Nate Diaz wrestle with Khamzat? No. Can he kick with Khamzat? No. Does he have the power that Khamzat has? I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous. You know, this is what you would call a mismatch.
Where does he stack up with Khamzat? What's the one place and I think people will agree he might be superior? Gas tank.
The gas tank. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's say he survives a beating, 4 rounds, beat down, Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, final round, somehow, some way, Nate Diaz pulls off the win. Biggest upset in UFC history. He's probably going to be the biggest underdog ever live, and somebody bets it and gets fucking rich.
AJ, why every time Nate Diaz fights, this is the scenario. Oh, he's gonna go with Leon Edwards when it gets down and dirty in the 5th round. He's gonna do it. He almost did. He almost did to Leon. But guys, remember he got beat up for 20-something minutes before that. You know, yeah. I think the scar tissue alone doesn't allow him to do that as well as he's done previously in his career. What I mean by that is it's easier to cut him open now. You know, he's got just a massive
doctor stoppage.
Yeah, it could be a cut stoppage. Yes, absolutely. You guys remember the Masvidal fight? That's what happened. It's all that scar tissue Nate has accumulated from this gangster style that he has.
We got to bring up our guy, Billy Barnes, producer. What if Nate pulled the ultimate FU to UFC and did like Curtis Harper did? I don't know if you remember that boxing match, but Curtis Harper walks out of the ring right as the fight starts. If Nate Diaz goes in there and just taps out to start the fight and walks, like, I don't know. I couldn't see him doing it, but
give me my pay-per-view money back then.
Like that would be, bro. Yeah. Could you with that? What would go down? The UFC would hold his pay. They wouldn't pay him.
Oh man, it would be madness. I have no idea. I don't even want to go there because that's the last thing I want to see. But let's be honest. This is abnormal, right? He's urinating on the UFC's offices. He's talking shit about the boss man. You know, it's like this is really abnormal. So in an abnormal place like this, I'm expecting an abnormal fight as well. Hopefully it's not a Chris Harper exit. Hopefully we get a fight because I think Nate is going to get paid well. I mean, you know, regardless of if the matchup is favorable or not, AJ, I think he wants the bag.
He's going to get it too. This is, I mean, outside of fighting McGregor, I think this is the biggest payday because Poirier and him sells, but not as good as Chimaev. And if he's getting pay-per-view points, Nate Diaz is taking $1 million home for this.
But my point, AJ, is that him and Poirier is a fight. You know, I started
looking at the fight, right?
And I'm like, okay, you know, I honestly, I mean, it's not happening, but I would pick Poirier, you know, in that fight. But you know, I like it type of thing. Versus this, come on, son. Come on. I think Khamzat Chimaev would beat Nick and Nate Diaz back to back.
Honestly,
same night.
I can't disagree. If Chimaev destroys him in 1 round, best case scenario for his stock, destruction, beats the brakes off Nate Diaz, total mismatch, looks like a minus 5,000, and that's it. Like, I feel like that's the way the fight has to go for like ultimate stock boost. If it goes the full 5, Chimaev wins a decision. It's like, man, you couldn't even finish Nate Diaz. You know, people will be a little bit, I don't know. It's not like it's easy to finish Nate. He takes a fucking ass whipping, but he's 37 at this point. If Chimaev is the boogeyman, he'd finish him. Habib would finish Nate, I think, on the mat.
Woo!
Hot take, bro.
Nate Diaz is lackadaisical with his jiu-jitsu. So if you watch the way he'll go, he'll give up positions and he will
he rolls stoned a lot.
Say again?
He rolls stoned a lot. You can see that in his style.
10th Planet style. He's not 10th Planet. He's Caesar Gracie. But I say that because if you walk into a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu school, you'll just get contact high from being on the mat with those guys, you know? So, yes, I think that Nate Diaz has a jiu-jitsu advantage here. Like, if you were going to go skill set for skill set, who understands more about jiu-jitsu? If you guys watch when Khamzat Chimaev tries to choke Leach, he's like doing the 1990s rear naked choke where he's got the hand on the top of the head and he's not quite understanding how to do it correctly. This is how we do a rear naked choke, right? So Khamzat Chimaev really doesn't have that great at jiu-jitsu. It's just that it's good enough to mix in with the wrestling where I don't think Nate can threaten him with much. Nate can try to slap on a choke. I don't think he's getting it, dude. I think on the ground, Nate's getting mauled.
So official prediction, let's drop it right now, early.
I think Khamzat plays with his food, but yeah, let's go with a Khamzat TKO, man. If Khamzat can't finish Nate, we got a problem.
I'm going second round TKO Chimaev, early lean, but I think that's probably going to stand as we get closer to the fight. I love the main event. I love the matchup. Big fights have been announced. I mean, the other one is Sean O'Malley taking on Jan. That's fucking huge. Piotr Jan.
I like it. That's a good fight.
That's a good fight. I don't know how O'Malley, I mean, he's the star. He gets a no contest, and now he gets the number 2 guy in the weight class. So fuck it. Let's go. O'Malley, he wins this. He's getting a title fight.
Yes, I mean, and he's put himself in the right spot, man. He's besides that Cheeto fight, O'Malley's looked damn impressive. Yes. O'Malley's got hands. Piotr Jan's going to have to close that distance, right? It's a clash of styles. Piotr Jan is the ultimate. Everything's just wound in here. Very, very small holes to fit through if you're going to try to punch him. Sugar Sean, exact opposite. Stands up tall, uses range, uses his feints. You're going to see a clash of styles, and it's going to be in the big cage. That makes me think that O'Malley can use his movement a little more. I'm not going to give you guys a pick on that one. Let me study and look because I don't have an early lean there because I do think that's a fight. I do think it's a fight.
That's a fight, bro. That's a fight.
Yeah.
We got a whole slew of fights that I do want to talk about, though. We got a lot of news, too.
Do it.
But we got to get into it. Mateusz Gamrot, Beneil Dariush. Last one I'll bring up. That's also just announced, which is a good matchup of top-level grapplers in the UFC.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Gamrot is a problem. So Beneil Dariush battling with him is going to be excellent. Beneil Dariush, very, very good at jiu-jitsu. He could hit you with a spinning back fist. He's training with Master Rafael Cordeiro, so his striking is going to be on point. How is he going to deal with Gamrot's wrestling? That's going to be a big problem for him, man. Gamrot physically overpowers people. He's getting very technical now as well, training out there in Florida. Man, I think Gamrot's top 5, brother.
Yeah, I think he's really good too. Let's see what happens with Beneil, and let's see what happens with these fights. We're going to jump into it. If you guys haven't, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. This is the Money Line. We're on an hour early this week. We're testing out the time slot. We want to see what's preferred by the masses. So definitely let us know in the comments what you think of an hour earlier as opposed to an hour later at 9 p.m. Eastern. First fight of the night, Claudio Silva versus Nicolas Dalby. Mike, I'll let you kick this thing off because I feel like it's an odd matchup with wide lines between two guys that I wouldn't feel super confident backing. What do you think, Finch, man?
100% agreed, man. Claudio Silva has a win over Leon Edwards. That's pretty impressive. Man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he was able to body lock him, mount him, take him to the ground, and take his back in that fight. That was 6 years ago. So
a long time.
You see nowadays he doesn't look as in good a shape to me, man. I haven't seen him chiseled up like that. He likes to throw these big looping punches you can see coming. Like I rewatched that James Krause fight yesterday, and the way he was coming at Krause, he was just a little too exposed for me. Too many openings, a little slow, kind of fatigued, a little too quick. So with the way he was throwing there, I do think Dalby can get him on the feet. Does Dalby have the takedown defense to stop him? Maybe, if he doesn't, he's going to be in trouble. Alex Oliveira did take Dalby down. So, if Alex Oliveira is taking him down, I think Claudio's got the better ground game, at least in the top position. He could get to the back, get to the mount like he did to Leon. I'm not betting on this fight either, brother. I mean, my initial lean was Dalby decision, but the odds are too wide to bet on him, AJ.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't touch the Dalby line. I was kind of going the Silva by a close decision. But it's like I don't like the pick at all. I don't like either side of it. I think if you're betting, it's like, yeah, Silva's a good value dog, but you're throwing cash at a guy who underperforming right now, and let's be honest, doesn't look in that good a shape. Could be a testosterone deficiency at this point. Like, I don't know. He looks like he's shriveled down. I'm going to ride really the way of no bet. Like, stick on the sidelines, chill. I'll pick Silva because I've been on him. I saw something in the initial tape that made me pick him. I just don't love Dalby's game. But like, come on, man. This is not an easy bout to pick. Not one that I really suggest betting on. Dalby's a big favorite. Not saying he's an inconsistent guy. I mean, he's got a win over Daniel Rodriguez, which I didn't think he deserved. I thought he lost that fight clearly. Tim Means beats him. I don't like it. I'm going to go Silva. But like, this is one of those fights where it's like, flip a coin. Let's see what happens. Like, I don't know.
I agreed 100%. Also echoing what we're saying here, Anthony L. in the comments, wouldn't touch these first 2 fights with a 10-foot pole. A Grinch reference. There we go. I wouldn't touch him with a 39.5-foot pole. Yeah, exactly, guys. You know, if you're going to make a bet, you want to be able to have confidence in the guy you're picking. You don't want to go out there with a wishy-washy, you want to be able to have a fighter who's a little bit consistent. That's not these two.
Yeah, not these 2 guys. I fucking got to say, Mike, that was hilarious, by the way.
That's, hey, every Christmas we got to watch The Grinch in the Finch household, all right? My wife will kill me if we don't. So I caught the Grinch reference. Thank you.
That's great. That's great, man. That's great. Mike, keep up the great work with that. As far as betting this fight, I think chill. I don't really care about, I don't know, throwing down. Maybe you attack the Silva dog, but I don't know if it's a great idea. Over a round and a half, minus 255. I think it probably happens. I don't even like the idea of the over 2.5, but I would say yes if you like told me I absolutely have to give you a take, but not feeling the props. Chill on this one. I think enjoy the fight. Hopefully we get a pretty decent one. We're riding with Silva for me, Dalby for the Finch man as we move up the card. Next one, the ladies going after it. Mandy Böhm versus Victoria Leonardo. I feel like Leonardo has a legit chance to win this fight. I feel like she's going to press Böhm, who fights decent from distance, but the hands are low. I see I don't want to say a limited striking game because she has decent straight punches, but I like the way Leonardo presses forward with pressure. I think she kind of overwhelms Mandy Böhm a bit. If she can get some clinch work, maybe some control against the cage, get the fight to the mat, better for Leonardo. I'm taking her on the cards. I'm going to take her by a decision. I was trying to tell myself, okay, Böhm, why would she win the fight? Like, she's got the record 7-1, but you look at the competition level, it really isn't great. Loses her first bout in the UFC. I think Leonardo's been out there with some tough girls, and I feel like she's proven pretty damn tough. She's not going to be easy to put away, so I'm going to ride Leonardo by a decision upset. What do you think, Finchman?
I respect that. I do like how you're identifying the difference in competition because there is a big one, right? Now, to be fair, Victoria Leonardo has lost to that good competition, right? She lost to Gatto. She lost to these great women that she's been fighting. So, yes, you get the experience, but you got your ass kicked too. So, a lot of people can go in there and get their ass kicked by them. Victoria Leonardo, got out grappled by Melissa Gatto, but she's not going to have that strength disadvantage here. It was interesting to see how much more physically strong Gatto was than her because, Victoria likes to move forward and likes to clinch, get the takedowns, fight a little dirty. So, here she is with Mandy Böhm. And I don't know how that clinch is going to go. I could see why you're thinking that Leonardo is going to do better in the clinch. I'm not ready to agree with that just yet. So then I look at the striking. Dude, I think Victoria Leonardo sucks. I think Victoria Leonardo's striking is super clumsy. She's not pulling her hands back to her face. She's pretty flat-footed. She leaves herself out there. A lot of her shots are short, doesn't really have much power. And then I look over to Mandy Böhm. The German Mandy Böhm has no power either. So I keep looking like, okay, we got one girl who's vulnerable, but the other girl can't cash the check. I'm going to agree with my man Anthony, who was saying don't bet on these first 2 fights, right? I don't like a bet here. I'm going to disagree with AJ again. I'm going to go with Mandy Böhm by decision. AJ, you asked how she would do it. I think she's the better striker here. Despite not having any power, she does have good kicks. She does have good side-to-side movement. She does protect herself with her shoulder when she needs to. I think just saying that much is more than Victoria has given me. This is probably a close decision. I'm going to go ahead and pick Böhm.
Böhm for the win by the Finch man. Even though I'm going Leonardo, I understand your side, Finch. I want to see what she can do. Let's look at the lines. Minus 130 for Böhm. Victoria Leonardo, slight favorite, plus 100 range. Do we go over 2.5? Probably. It's minus 220. I don't think we're liking the props in this one, but I'll list them off. Böhm by decision is plus 170. Leonardo decision plus 240. It's not a great value dog if you like Leonardo. It's a close favorite, but I think that it's risky to throw on Böhm, unproven at this point. Personal, probably no bet, unless maybe you go Leonardo, maybe you go the over. What do you think, Finch? You kind of in agreement there?
I do think that the over makes sense here. I do think these ladies are going to go to a decision. They're going to have trouble getting the finish. And I want to say that that would be the most confident pick out of all three, even more confident than Böhm with a victory. Again, when you guys bet, you want somebody consistent to bet on. I wish Böhm had more weapons, but she doesn't. She pulls out her knife and she forgot to sharpen it. It's just not going to knock you out. So you see certain women, right? Valentina Shevchenko is a great example. They have this quick twitch snap. Böhm really fights like a girl. She really moves like a girl. And, when she hits people, there's not a lot of kinetic energy development there. That's a problem, man. It's hard to really keep somebody off of you when you can't threaten them. So while I do think Böhm gets the decision, all Leonardo's got to do is just come in with a couple of those sloppy ass punches, get the clinches, try to work for takedowns and grind her out, So that's not where my money's going to be. Not on this fight.
Not on this fight. Sitting out on it myself and the Finch man. Let's jump to the next matchup. Jai Herbert takes on Kyle Nelson. Finch, you liking Jai Herbert's stand-up game? Because he looked really good against Topuria up until,
he beat
got
the
fucking
shit out of Topuria.
He did
Say
great.
it like it is.
He beat the shit out of it. Most guys are getting knocked out. So Topuria's made out of steel. Kyle Nelson. So what'd you say, Mike?
Topuria did knock him out.
Yeah, he slept him. Topuria's an animal, but Herbert looked good to start. Kyle Nelson, I think he's going to get destroyed standing up with Herbert. I watch Kyle Nelson, and I don't know if you agree with this. He tries to block a lot of shots, right? Small gloves. We talk about they say the blocking is a lot less effective with the smaller gloves. Shots are going to sneak through. This isn't, Muay Thai. And I feel like Herbert is so much more precise. I think he's going to sneak shots through. I think his kicking game is levels above. Nelson, to me, I think gets stifled in the stand-up. Probably wants to wrestle. I don't see him with a significant threat there to take Herbert down and control him. I'm going to ride Jai Herbert by the KO. I'm thinking second-round knockout, maybe even the first, too.
That was my initial thought, right? I went back and watched that Topuria fight and just drooled over the striking prowess, man. Jai Herbert's got pop. We were just talking about the previous fight, no weapons. Jai Herbert's got every freaking weapon. He's a ninja turtle, bro. He's got them everywhere. He can take anything out and he can kill you with it, man. He's got great pop on his shots. I really like his striking. I really think Jai Herbert's striking is high level. He loses fights, and you got to dig into, when you see somebody who's really talented and they've been losing fights, you got to really dig into what's going on there. And his opponent, Kyle Nelson, has actually showed some prowess in places where Herbert has problems. For instance, when Topuria was able to push Herbert all the way back to the fence, and Herbert was standing with this fence, with the fence right behind him, he started swinging big shots, and that's how Topuria caught him. Well, that's actually exactly what Kyle Nelson has done to people. Kyle Nelson has been able to, thought I wrote down the fight here, Nelson caught Polo Reyes, right? So Polo Reyes tries to kick, and then he catches it to grapple and comes in there, eventually knocks him out in tight on the fence, kind of like Frank Mir, Shane Carwin style. That's how you would want to lay hands on a Jai Herbert. You don't want to stand in the middle of the cage with him. You'd prefer to put him on the wall. We've seen one guy have success there, Jai Herbert have problems there. That's a little red zone that I would be watching out for. And then, of course, the grappling might be better on Kyle Nelson's side. So with the odds the way they are, it makes me hesitate on this one. I got to go with the guy who has the biggest advantage, and that's Jai Herbert in the striking. In the center of the cage, Jai Herbert dominates this fight. I just wonder what happens when they're not in the center of the cage, AJ.
I like it, man. I mean, those are real concerns. If Kyle Nelson can get a hold of Jai Herbert and take him down, I'll be a bit fearful, even if he can just get inside and clinch up and slow the fight down.
Right?
Yeah, that would be a live bet situation. If you see No takedown defense from Herbert. He gets put on the back, and Kyle Nelson's looking on his game, having a bit of success early. Maybe you're throwing live on Nelson. Right now, how I'm seeing the fight, I'm going Jai Herbert. And I am going to go by knockout, Finch. What do you think about the KO?
Woo! That's how he fights, AJ. That makes sense to me, man. If Nelson is able to zap that out of him, right? Who remembers George St. Pierre, BJ Penn 2? George St. Pierre goes out there, presses BJ into the fence, gets all that blood and that lactic acid in BJ's shoulders. Now BJ's not as dangerous anymore. He went from a great white shark, right? And now his teeth are gone. So you take their teeth away by getting the blood in the shoulders there. If Nelson comes out and grapples heavy in the first, it's going to zap Herbert's chances of getting that knockout. However, if Herbert's able to get out there and do his thing, yeah, Herbert's method of victory is knockout. I agree with you.
I like it, bro. Finch, man, let's go for the odds. Let's look at it. Minus 280, Herbert money line. He's wide. As you said, you don't like the idea of that wide line being played. Kyle Nelson, plus 220, dog. I think under 2.5 at minus 195. I think that's a realistic outcome. I think we're probably getting a finish. Herbert by KO TKO is not good. It's minus 110. You're not getting any value there. I guess we're looking at kind of no value style bet situation. I mean, you go Jai Herbert in the parlay. Hopefully he's not the one that gets squashed for us all. I like him to win. I've been confident on him, but we're going Jai Herbert KO. Let's ride with it.
We're riding with it, but it's a little interesting with the live, right? I think if Jai Herbert starts getting taken down here, his chances of winning go like that, right? Because he's not the type of guy to have that explosiveness in the third round. I do think Jai Herbert's a dangerous first round fighter.
I like it, man. Herbert, we're going knockout. I'm going second round. I'm banking that he'll survive a bit and he'll catch Nelson, who I think is going to try to catch punches as opposed to slip shots, gets caught, knocked out. Jai Herbert for the W. Let's see if it goes down. Next one, this fight, Muhammad Mokaev, the guy, versus Charles Johnson. Finch, I remember when he first burst onto the scene, you picked him to win, I think, decision against Cody Durden. And then he ends up submitting him in under a minute. Did that show you this guy's a real problem? Like, are you higher on Mokaev after seeing the debut now?
Oh, my God. Yes, man. Did you see that guillotine he slapped him with? He slaps him with a guillotine, right? You guys saw Chad Mendes did this to Conor McGregor. Slaps on the guillotine. What did Conor do? Conor rolled right through it, and Chad lost it. What did Durden do? Durden rolled, and all Mokaev did was just switch the guillotine to fist in the neck, followed up to mount, and strangled him. That is like 2022 jiu-jitsu choke game. You didn't see Royce Gracie doing guillotines like that. That's high-level shit, dude. That's really good for MMA. I love to see a choke game at that level, man. That is like A-plus level guillotine work right there. Super impressive, AJ. No question about it.
I like Mokaev submissions, man. Charles Johnson's not an easy fight, though. I mean, he's coming in here, I believe LFA champion.
Yes.
Pro boxing experience, has a good striking game. Wrestling base, not a Mokaev level on the ground, I don't believe, but he's still a good athlete too. But I feel like Mokaev is one of those special prospects. He's 21. To me, I think in the next 2 years, you could be looking at contender title run. I mean, I was thinking to myself, does he want to be the youngest champ ever? How would he get there? He probably need 4 wins in a matter of a little bit over a year. Not going to be easy to do unless some type of short notice opportunity arises. Smoking Charles Johnson, I think, is needed to continue that run up big time. How does he win it? I'm seeing a submission. I'm banking on Mokaev finding a way, but I don't think Johnson makes that easy, though. He's not a finishable guy. I mean, he's, of course, everybody's finishable, but I don't know if he's ever been finished. Let me quickly pull up Charles Johnson's record because I'm like 90% sure both his losses are on the cards. Sean Santella, decision, and he lost a decision to Brandon Royval, who's good on the mat. If Mokaev submits Charles Johnson, we got to start being like, oh shit, this is the dude. Because Brandon Royval's top dog in the weight class as a finisher, and Johnson went distance with him. I'm going to go Mokaev sub. What do you think, Finch?
I think this is a way better fight than the Durden fight. I do think Charles Johnson beats a Durden. Like, I've been pretty impressed, man. I look back at his last fight. Charles Johnson defended his LFA flyweight title. Man, he brings those Muay Thai fundamentals when he fights AJ. His last fight against Carlos Mota was really impressive. He brings a lot of combinations and pressure. Like towards the end of that fight, the way he was ripping the body and coming back upstairs, it reminded me like when Shane Burgos has got it in full gear and he's going, man. He's got combinations. He's got great fundamental Muay Thai. I think he's going to be a big problem for Mokaev. I could even see him stealing around from him. It's going to be one where Mokaev has the big advantage in the jiu-jitsu area, but the defensive wrestling of Johnson with the striking, dude, I think this is a fun fight. I think it's closer than the odds have it. You got to go with the young prospect, AJ. I'm going to double up with you on the young prospect, but I do think there are people out there sleeping on Johnson. Who is this guy making his UFC debut? LFA champ. Watch the way he fights. He's seasoned. He's not a young kid like Mokaev. He's coming in there much more a veteran feel, a guy who's been through losses, learned from them, come back stronger, been through wars, knows how to bite down on his mouthpiece and be a dog. This could be a fight of the night.
So you think it's going distance, Mike?
I think these guys are going to beat the shit out of each other. I think Mokaev could choke him. I was pretty impressed, bro.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a good fight until Mokaev strangles him.
All right, so we're going Mokaev sub. You're in agreement with me.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah. Like
a
pound broken nose sub, though. I think these guys are going to beat the shit out of each other for a little bit first.
I like it, man. That's what I want to see. Minus 480 at my bookie for Mokaev, plus 355, Charles Johnson. Looking at Mokaev by sub, the line, plus 188 at best value. Mokaev by submission, to me, would be the way to go if you're throwing down. I think I'm going to snipe out that sub, but I'm not saying club and sub. I'm just saying straight sub. You thinking club and sub, Finch?
No, I think he's the one getting clubbed, dude. I think Mokaev is going to run into some shit on the feet and have to become a grappler. And AJ, I just wanted to give a couple shouts here because the comments are on fire. First off, Lil Seal, the energy on this channel is contagious. Thank you. As long as we're not giving you COVID, as long as it's love, right? We want to be contagious. Thank you, Lil Seal. We appreciate that. And then Johnson is a Bobby Green with kicks, Kundao chicken. Hilarious. Buffo on the beat. I appreciate that. And then I saw one more. Lines are way too wide. I agree with you, man. I just think that people aren't given the credit to the experience that Johnson has. Johnson's been there, done that. I haven't seen Mokaev go through that type of adversity. I wonder how he responds.
We're going to find out on fight night, bro. I'm banking on he does respond well. I do think that he's got that special thing. Am I crazy for it? I don't think so. But am I also maybe buying into the hype with a Chimaev, a Mokaev, a Rakhmonov, all these, OVs? The V at the end of the name, these guys are all over the place, blowing up every weight class. But I feel like flyweight needs one. And I think it's going to be Muhammad Mokaev, man. I think he's a problem. I'm riding with him. 21. He looks special. The amateur career tells me something. We're going to finish, win by sub over Johnson. Johnson's a tough cat, though, too. And I mean, he's definitely UFC level, even though he hasn't fought in the UFC yet. I think it's a good choice bringing him in from LFA, and he'll still be around even with the loss here.
Johnson's real. Johnson's real. And he's the type of guy to gut those tough fights out. You guys will see me pick Johnson in other fights. I do think he's underrated here, guys. So, if you want to sprinkle a little something on Johnson, I don't think you're crazy. I think a lot of people are going to be jumping on Mokaev just based on his performance. He's a young kid on fire, but that experience is different for me, man. I'm going to be interested to see how he responds. I'm going to learn a lot about Mokaev in this fight.
Yeah, we're going to find out, and I think you're going to be very impressed, Finch, man. Let's jump to the next one. Makwan Amirkhani versus Jonathan Pearce. Finch, what do you think, man? Because Makwan Amirkhani has a tricky submission game. He catches necks well. Pearce, very forward pressure wrestling style, strong, heavy on top. But I think the neck might be there to get caught up in something. I don't know.
I mean, Pearce showed really good takedowns against Kai Kamaka. He's good at everything. He's shown solid fundamentals. Everywhere he's in really good shape. There's no power though. There's no huge threat of the KO when he's walking you down. So that brings Amirkhani back in the fight. You know, Amirkhani, very rangy southpaw. I do think he could kind of slow this thing down in the feet a little bit. And like you said, there's a threat of submissions here, man. He could clip Pearce, but I worry about him getting backed up and out wrestled. So, you know, as much as I'm tempted to give you guys some more underdogs on this card, I'm going to have to stick with Pearce. I think maybe Pearce is getting a little bit too much love again, though, because, you know, he's not that dangerous. If the fight's going to finish, you might expect Amirkhani to be the one to finish the fight. You know, I do see Pearce sort of being good everywhere and not great anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I think his specialty still leans towards the wrestling, but he's not like a shining star prospect. I think he's just gritty, tough, strong. He comes forward. He's athletic. He's in pretty decent shape, and he's going to out-wrestle a lot of these dudes. Amirkhani, seasoned grappler. The problem is the gas tank. That's my biggest fear. Does he run out of gas? Does he get TKO'd on the floor? Does he break? If he doesn't, I think Amirkhani can win by sub. I'm going to bank on Amirkhani. What do you think, Finchman?
Hey, I respect that shit. That was my first pick. When I typed it, I said Amirkhani, and I was like, man, let me watch more fights. Let me dig into it. The way Pearce marches forward, AJ, I think it's going to be a problem for Amirkhani, man. I think Amirkhani's getting backed up in this fight. I think he's getting walked down. I think the geography is going to be all wrong for Amirkhani in this one. And Pearce, there's not a lot of openings. So Amirkhani, the way he stands, he wants your body to be wide open. He needs something wide open. Pearce is all shut down, walking forward. I think he controls this one. We got to give a shout to Lil.
Yep.
Let's go. Thank you.
God.
Thank you.
Lil Seal, it's not much, but it's honest work. We got the nice little workout emoji, nice stuff. Much love, Lil Seal, for the donation. Shout out to our guy for the love, man. We really appreciate that. Much fucking love, my guy. And we got odds now to jump to after we got our donation in the chat. The lines here, Amirkhani is plus 186. Jonathan Pearce minus 190, minus 195 rather. I like the plus money on Amirkhani.
That's a decent dog. I respect that dog.
Decent size, man. Does it go over a round and a half, Finch, man? What do you think about that?
Come on, son. It's going to a decision. Pearce is winning the decision. If Amirkhani gets it, I can see what you're saying. Amirkhani could slap on a choke and get this thing over with. I don't know. Who said Anaconda in the chat? Somebody said Anaconda. There it is. Andy Gonzalez. Amirkhani, Anaconda in the first. My man is specific with the submission. I respect that.
Andy's the Mystic fucking Mac, my guy. I'm with him. I don't know about first. I'm kind of thinking second. Looking at the sub line for Amirkhani, we're sitting at plus 340. Pearce wins by decision, plus 270. Let's ride. Let's ride for me with Makwan. Finch is on Pearce. It's not a terrible line in the minus 200. You like Pearce by decision. Do you like the prop Pearce by decision, Mike?
For plus money? Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be loud there in London, guys. Something that people don't understand. Like when you're in that cage and the crowd's going crazy and the referee is, looking right at it. Like, for instance, in Liz Carmouche's last fight, right? The crowd was going nuts and the referee jumps in there and stops it and everything's chaotic. I really think the crowd helps you get some stoppages, man. So with a London crowd, who's drunker and more obnoxious than the London crowd? So, that's just something to think about when you bet a prop decision. Remember, it's London.
It's London. You're right. No, it's London, man. And also, we got a good question in the chat. Are you guys twins?
Yeah, I got all the good genes, though. My man AJ's there suffering.
Unfortunately, man. This guy, he took it all out of me, man. He took it all out of me.
That's awesome.
Great. All right, Mike, we're going to jump to the next one. I think we're still on the prelims. Let me get a check. Yeah, we are. We're still riding these prelims all the way up. This one's weird to me. Nathaniel Wood and Charles Rosa. I don't know about this matchup, man. I fear the line is way off. Have you seen the line?
Yeah, the odds are giving way too much love to Wood, man. I think the size advantage is real here.
Right.
Rosa should have, a weight class difference, right?
Yeah, he's naturally. Rosa has fought at 55 and 45. Wood's a 35er coming up. His last fight was a catchweight 140. So now you're jumping up to 45. As I don't think he's a huge guy at 35. He's not small for the weight class, but 45 is a jump. Rosa, decent size 45er. I brought up Rosa on this week's Best MMA Bets as a valuable dog bet just because the line is so ludicrous. If I have to really lean the pick, like I do think Wood is the superior guy. I'm just concerned. It's a weird matchup. Rosa hasn't looked that great as of late. What do you think, Finch?
I'm gonna go out on the limb of limbs, and say Rosa decision just because of how wide this freaking line is, guys. If the line was given a little bit of love to Rosa, you know, I agree with you, AJ. It's like 60-40 Wood, right? But that's not what the line says. So if you're betting on this fight, I don't see how you bet on Wood.
Yeah, you can't bet on Wood. You can't. Minus 520. Minus 580. Rosa plus 405.
Who's making these decisions? Let's get our bookie back on. What the hell is going on?
What do they know about this? Is Rosa got no ACL or some shit?
Maybe they know something we don't, man. That is too wide for me. If you're gonna bet, sprinkle it on Rosa. I mean, just being honest, my initial pick here was Wood, but then I saw that line.
Over 2.5 for Wood and Rosa's minus 210. Like, I want to say yes to that one because I feel like we're going the distance. But I just have I don't know. It's a weird fucking fight. And I've cashed on Rosa as a dog in the past by decision prop as well against Kevin Aguilar. I never forget. It's one of my first bets I ever really went hard on. And I feel like maybe Rosa is the play. Finchman's jumping on it. I wouldn't bet Nathaniel Wood, but he's the pick. Dog or pass?
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's the best way to put it, guys. Dog or pass, because the bookies are not doing you any favors betting on Wood. If you want to take a favorite, there are plenty of good favorites on this card. This is not one of them.
This is not. This is not one of them, brother. Let's keep running up. We got a 14-fight card, and we're about to be halfway. We're on fight number 7. Marc Diakiese and Damir Hadžović. I feel like Diakiese is going to out-kickbox him from distance, but he's a chronic underperformer. Damir Hadžović's a tough dude. He comes to fight. He's going to press forward. He's not super technical, but he's scrappy. And he's got decent hands. He's got some pop. He's not a knockout king, but if he hits you, he'll do some damage. Diakiese is a lot more athletic, but I feel like he needs distance to fight well. His style is very distance-based, whereas Hadžović, I think, in the close range has an edge. For whatever reason, I'm still banking on Diakiese being able to pull this one off. It's not it's like I'm confident in the win, but it's not a situation I love. Not because I don't think Diakiese has the tools to win the fight, because he's let me down previously.
I think if Diakiese has the juice, if he has the juice at all, this is the fight for him to win, man. Look at the way they match up. Damir Hadžović, his toughness is excellent. His fitness is excellent, but he's got those little T-Rex arms, and he's very hittable. So he has to burst into land, and the check left hook is there for him all day. He gets clipped with it a lot. He likes to eat right hooks as well. Marc throws those a lot. That's kind of his game, right? He stays a little bit more rangy and has those shots coming at you. So that check left hook should be there all day. The right hand coming over the top. I just see Marc landing, man. I could see him knocking him out. So I'm gonna go ahead and have some confidence in him and pick him by KO. I think he's gonna knock Hadžović out, man.
Hadžović, he's getting slept, you think? You think Diakiese knocks him out?
Diakiese knockout early, and I think that he does it when the distance is being closed. There's a big distance difference here. Those T-Rex arms, you have to burst forward to close the distance. As he bursts forward, he's going to run into something. I just don't see how he wins this fight beyond him being the guy who's in better shape, who just keeps coming forward and whatnot. His head movement, AJ, not very good, man. He's too hittable for me, AJ.
I like it. I like the knockout pick on Diakiese. I mean, I'd be impressed. Minus 370, Hadžović plus 295. You like Diakiese by KO. Let's see what this line is. Plus 160. I'm really feeling this Diakiese decision, bro.
Matt W. Damir gonna sub this bum. Damn, this bum. Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
Hey, look, if he's going to beat him, that's the way you do it, right? He's going to have to close that distance first, though.
It's Mr. Finch in London. No, he's stateside. Where you at in the States, bro? Where's Bellator?
I am in Seattle, Washington for Bellator 283. We got Douglas Lima. He is taking on Jason Jackson, and I will be there live tomorrow. You guys could check in with me, and yeah, we'll be doing those fights. You guys get fights all weekend, Friday and Saturday. Come and join me. Prelims are free, by the way, so you guys could check out some stacked Bellator prelims. Dalton, Rosa, AJ, you broke down the whole card. Decent undercard.
I broke down the whole featured prelim to the main. That's normally what I've been doing with Bellator lately.
Böhm is taking on the Davion Franklin, the prospect from Jackson Wink. When I went to Jackson Wink with Billy Barnes, that's what he told us. I said, "Who's next?" And he said, look out for Davion Franklin. So he's fighting, former UFC fighter Marcelo Golm. Badass fight on the prelims. Keep going. Dalton Rosta and Romero Cotton. There's some good ones.
Let's go. I'm excited for it, Mike. I'll probably be tuning into the Bellator show. I got to catch that Dalton Rosta fight. From there on up, I got to catch that shit. And I like Falardo on the prelims. But we don't want to talk too much Bellator. We're going to jump it to the next one. Finch, man. Let's talk about it. We're riding up. It is Mason Jones and Ľudovít Klein. I like this fight a lot. Ľudovít is a big underdog, obviously jumping in. Does he have a shot? I feel like Mason Jones is going to overwhelm him with pressure, but Ľudovít's a dangerous striker. The hype on Ľudovít early when he was in the UFC was like, who is this guy? I almost felt like he had that physique of hype, right? At one point, like it seemed like, oh shit, he might be that dude. And then you start seeing, a couple losses pile up. What are the past two? I know he lost to Trezano on the cards, and then Nate Landwehr chokes him out. He gets a split against Devontae Smith. Big win over Shane Young started it off, though, with hype. He got a KO there. Mason Jones, to me, I think he's a real tough kid. I like the way he presses inside. I think he's going to put it on Ľudovít. I think from distance, though, you have to be cautious with Ľudovít Klein. He's got really dangerous fucking kicks, man. He's explosive. Those hips are good. I don't see Mason Jones getting knocked out by one of them, though. So I'm going to ride Mason Jones on the cards, winning a decision. What do you think, Finch?
Woo! Mason Jones just walks into too many shots for me, AJ. He walked into way too many shots from Mike Davis, You want to see the kid making him miss a little bit more than that. And he's too easy to find. I don't think he can afford to get hit with the left kick or the left hand from Ľudovít Klein, especially as many times he did in that Davis fight. Klein is Mr. Highlight. Man, he is a finisher. Southpaw, so he's going to be rangy, tough to deal with. Really good left high kick, really good front kick to the body. That's a phenomenal combination. That's what I teach, right? I just posted a video on all my platforms there where I'm showing you throw the front kick to the body to get somebody to drop their hands, and then you come up to the head. Mine was a question mark kick. He kind of goes more direct to target, but that's a great way to set Mason Jones up. I think he does it. Am I crazy? Ľudovít Klein, knockout.
Ľudovít Klein by knockout by Mike Finch. You continue to shock me tonight, Finch, man. Plus 255, Ľudovít. Minus 330, Mason Jones. Props are limited right now? No, we got the whole slew finally out. You like KO for Klein, so I'll read it off here. Head kick, plus 600. Jones to win a decision, plus 200. Then the over 1.5 is like minus 160. I don't think the over 1.5 is a terrible idea, but now with Finch, man, thinking knockout, high kick could happen at any moment. I'm feeling like Mason Jones is going to fucking overwhelm him, bro. That's what I'm thinking. I think he's going to put the pace on him and pressure. But if Ľudovít gets space, takes one. And it's fucking rap skis for Mason. But he looks really good. He seems durable to me. I'm riding with Mason Jones. We're going against each other again, Mike. We're going gun to gun.
Bufo on the beat is asking, am I confident in Klein like I was in Leach? No. Okay, because you know, Jones might be the better grappler here, and you know, I think somebody else brought it up who disagreed with me. Kung Dao Chicken, Ľudovít Klein is not good against pressure fighters. Yeah, Mason Jones is going to be coming forward, and so you would expect, you know, guys who are moving forward are it's easier to change into the grappling, right? Look at Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier, that style. Put the pressure. Am I going to shoot? Am I going to box? They can get in on somebody. So that's a great point by you guys. All I'm saying is that it's too easy to hit Jones. He needs to get out of the way of shots. His head movement is not ready to be at the A level yet. Is this the A level? No. Do I have a ton of confidence in Klein? No. But when I see odds this wide, we got to take a stab at something. This is one where I'm interested.
Let's go, Finchman. Ľudovít Klein for the win. I like it, brother. I'm going with Jones, but I'm honestly excited that you took that underdog to spice things up a little bit. Got a lot of disagreement on the prelims. Let's see.
Good.
Let's jump to the main, brother. Let's jump to it. Main card time. First fight on the main card as the Finchman somehow disappeared on us. Where's he at? Where's Finchman? Finchman. What's going on with the Finchman over here? He's disappearing. Well, guys, it's the main card. Make sure you guys smash the hell out of the like button. There's the Finchman. I was wondering where you went, bro.
I dipped on you, bro. I'm back.
He's back. The man is back. Much love. Smash the likes, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Let us know in the comments. Do you like the 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific start time, or do you prefer the 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific start time? We're trying to get a gauge of what time is better for the masses. So let us know because both slots are available. And I mean, listen, I like 8 p.m. I'm cool. I've been doing earlier shows. I like early action, getting it fucking in and ready to rock. Let's talk the first fight on the main. Mike, I'll let you kick things out. Do you think Paul Craig continues with the submission success?
Shit. Tough one for me, man. Gotta admit, I'm a little on the fence on this one. Yes, I'll say he does. But if you guys look at who Volkan Oezdemir has been fighting, does somebody not like him in the UFC? I mean, go through that man's list. He has fought the who's who. So, you know, Volkan Ozdemir's spotted checkered record, you know, it makes sense based on the competition he's fighting. So the same logic you guys used earlier on Leonardo saying that she's fought the better competition. You know, Ozdemir's fought the better competition. So it's tough, you know, seeing him come up to Craig. With that being said, Craig's fought great fighters. You know, Craig broke, what's his name's arm? The great striker. You got him.
He broke
great striker. Then knock
Dominic Reyes.
Wait.
You talking about Rakic?
Somebody's gonna be in the chat.
Hold on.
I'm pulling it up right now. He is excellent on the ground, obviously. Whether he's on his back or not, he's still super dangerous. That's what you want to see, man. When you see somebody who can submit people off of their back in the UFC nowadays, we got to respect that, man.
Jamal Hill, bro. Jamal Hill.
I
was thinking you meant Oezdemir broke his arm. I'm like, wait, whose arm did Oezdemir break?
Mr. Craig, my man, Mr. Craig, breaking Jamal Hill's arm or dislocating it, right? It wasn't broken, it was dislocated. Yeah, thank you. American-born had a Hill. Man, I just think that he's going to figure it out. Whether Oezdemir is winning the fight or not, I think Craig's going to slap something on and get it done. I got respect for Oezdemir. I must say, AJ, there's a pathway for Oezdemir to win this thing.
I think that he does have the knockout power, the pressure boxing. If he touches him up, he could do some serious fucking damage. But I think Paul Craig submission skill set on the mat is extremely dangerous. I think he could find something. Like if he's on his back, you know it's trouble. I think Oezdemir on the floor is in significant danger at any point with Paul Craig. Right now, I'm thinking Paul Craig is the most dangerous light heavyweight off the back in the UFC. I'm riding with Paul Craig by sub. And don't even be shocked if Paul Craig says, hey, I'm pulling fucking guard. Come down with me. And he drags the fight to the mat and he catches an arm. Like Oezdemir on the feet's dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
But I have to ride with Paul Craig.
Yeah, if you guys are riding with Oezdemir, you're not crazy at all. All you got to do is box and move, man. Just box and move. Do not go to the ground with this dude. Stand up when he goes down there. I do see a pathway for Oezdemir, you know, but damn, is Craig a good finisher, dude? Look at the streak he's on, man. Why would I bet against him? You know, I'll say Craig sub.
Craig sub for the win. I'm banking on it too. I like it, man. I think that he's gonna catch. I think he's gonna catch Volkan in a sub on the mat. I think they go to the floor, and it's just you see the level of Paul Craig because Oezdemir has been submitted in the past.
And you know what? I just think strategically, AJ, if you're in Oezdemir's corner, I'm telling you, this is shark-infested water down there. Do not dive in the shark pool. Stay up on land, keep this thing on the feet, and he'll win a decision. All Oezdemir has to do is stay 3 feet away from this dude the whole fight, and he'll win. Can he do it? I don't know, man. I don't know. Certainly Oezdemir is a guy who I could not tell you guys to make him a lock or something like that because of the inconsistency. I want to reiterate, though, top-level competition. So this thing's close to a coin flip for me, guys.
Coin flip action for Finch, man. I'm a little more confident on Paul Craig. I'm banking him on sub. Let's look at the lines here. Craig is a dog. He's sitting at plus 135. Oezdemir minus 165. Let's see. Craig to win by submission plus 215. So it's not a crazy wide line, but I expect him to catch that sub, man. Under 2.5 rounds is minus 200. I don't think that's a terrible idea either.
Dirty Reg 22. It's a little ways up, AJ. If Craig does not get the submission, his ass is grass for sure. Yeah, I mean, you could just imagine, right, the stylistic version that Oezdemir has to fight here. And Oezdemir essentially just needs to make sure that he stays away and he's got the thing. I also saw somebody else ask there, is it going to be a decision or a knockout if you go with Oezdemir? In my opinion, it's definitely a decision. And the reason why is it's tough to knock a guy out when you have to avoid his grappling at all costs. Why? Because it has to be like a one-punch KO. We said this about Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira, right? Let's say Gaethje does rock him. He did. What can he do? He can't follow up. He can't go for the TKO. He doesn't want to get in that guard. So that's exactly the problem Oezdemir is going to run into. If you're picking Oezdemir, say decision.
Finchman says Oezdemir by decision. Might surprise some folks because he's a big knockout guy, but the decision line, I will bring it up. It's wide. It's plus 330.
That's juicy. That's juicy because he's not going to follow Craig to the floor if he has any sense.
No, you're right. If he hurts him, he can't. And if he does, biggest mistake of his career, he's getting sub. I'm saying Craig finds the sub, though, and we're riding both of us on Paul Craig here, which is good because he's a good plus money. He's got the roll going. I'd like to see him fight in the top contender fight because right now I'm digging Paul Craig style, man.
Oh, it's fun, man. He's different, you know? He's got something different going on. He'll talk a lot of shit and then lay on his back. Like, what the hell? Usually you see somebody talk a lot of shit, they're going to come knock you out, right? Paul Craig's like, crawl into my guard, bitch. Come doom down here, right? Isn't there like a Simpsons episode like that where he's trying to pull guard on somebody using jiu-jitsu? That's exactly right. You know, jiu-jitsu is called the gentle art. Paul Craig is anything but gentle with it, man.
He's anything but. He'll rip your fucking arm clean off. We're going Paul Craig submission. Maybe he collects a limb with him. Let's jump to the next one. Molly McCann, Hannah Goldie. I like this lady's matchup.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to feed McCann somebody who will bang, but isn't a significant technical threat to her. Goldie, to me, is a lesser version of Molly McCann right now. And I think Molly's going to probably dominate for 3 rounds. I mean, I think Goldie's going to be sitting there slugging back. But what does she offer? Like, I don't know. I don't think she has great stand-up. She has athletic striking. She's a jacked girl. She's physically strong. But Molly's strong as hell. Molly does a good job fighting on the inside. I think Molly's got the better boxing. Submission skill set. Goldie did catch a sub win by armbar in the last one. I don't see her doing that to Molly McCann. I think 3 rounds, good fight. I'm riding Molly McCann on the cards, but in London with the loud crowd, what if there's a knockout? Would I be surprised? Probably not.
AJ, when I watch Miss Goldie fight, Hannah Goldie throws her right hand with her chin up in the air, If you look at the way, Molly Meatball throws, it's hooks, right? So the way that Hannah Goldie's going to miss with the target right up there, the way Molly Meatball throws her punches anyway, it's a total mismatch with those two. That's exactly what I see happening. I see Molly Meatball tagging her, dropping her, coming in for the finish. I think Molly Meatball is going to get this finish, AJ, in London. She's going to get on that fence and go crazy. I think Molly McCann is getting the stoppage, bro. And you know what? Molly McCann's bringing her boxing coach in her corner now. So her boxing coach wasn't coming to corner her before. She's been talking about how confident she is in her hands now. I do think we see it in this fight, man. That's what I wanted to hear, because what she needs to do in this fight is box. She says her boxing's more fire than it's ever been. Perfect, man. Let's go Molly via knockout.
Molly by KO. Minus 435. Molly McCann, money line, plus 335. Hannah Goldie. Let's look. McCann to win by KO. It's sitting at plus 410 best value. That's a big line, man. What's the decision prop? McCann decision minus 125. It's ugly. Maybe this is the one that somebody gets slept. I mean, if Goldie sits to bang in London, I'd like to see a knockout. Maybe I'll ride on the side of, if you're betting it by KO, it's not a bad idea in London, man. I might throw that prop in it. Let's get it.
I like it, dude. Yeah, dude. I think McCann's got the tools to get the finish. I saw somebody. She's got the reach. Dixon says, it's not about reach in this one because Goldie's not accurate enough to use it, and Goldie also, when she misses, she seems very available for a hook. Molly McCann with the sharp hooks. I don't like the matchup for Goldie, guys. I got to get confident here in McCann.
McCann for the win, man. We're both riding her. Let's go. Molly McCann, W. Finch is on knockout. He's honestly swaying me to the KO side with the boxing coach in the corner. So at least right now on Moneyline, we're jumping KO. Fuck it. I'm jumping with Finch, man. Throw the prop in.
Let's go. We got him. We got him,
baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's jump to the next fight. It is Nikita Krylov and Alexander Gustafsson. Dude, he's been out. Gustafsson has been out for a while. The last fight, he was 240, and he got tapped out in 2.5 minutes by the best heavyweight jiu-jitsu practitioner at that point. I mean, maybe ever, still probably one of the GOATs at heavyweight for submissions. It's no shame in that loss. He got taken down, dry, early positioning, and boom, sub. Krylov has a good wrestling game, but he's not necessarily a finisher on the mat. Not that he can't finish, but I'd say lower likelihood. Gustafsson has the big striking advantage to me. My problem is, will he be flat coming off of this layoff? What do you think, Mike? Is Gustafsson going to look pretty flat?
Man, that's the toughest thing, right? Is what version of Gustafsson are we going to get? Are we going to get the guy who got underneath John Jones and just stopped moving and got TKO'd, or are we going to get the Gustafsson who has the great side-to-side movement, went to a split decision with prime Daniel Cormier, the guy who's at that A level? That's a tough question to answer, AJ. I will say I'm gonna predict that we do get a good Gustafsson. It's definitely one though where we have to wonder what version we're gonna get, because Krylov's a little bit more consistent with the performances. I know he lost, but Krylov's gonna threaten with the grappling in this fight. He's gonna try to put pressure on Gustafsson. All that's pretty apparent. So I do think the boxing and the side-to-side movement of Gustafsson will come into play here. Is Gustafsson an underdog?
Of course, brother. Of course. He's a big, I mean, not huge, but he's a big sizable, plus 155 Gus. Krylov minus 190. I like Gustafsson's chances, bro. I'm riding with him by decision.
Me too. Let's double it up on the Gus bus, man. Sure. AJ, how can we be confident that we're going to get the Gus bus who fought DC? I don't know what man is going to step across that cage.
We can't. We got to just bank on the intuition / hope. We got to have a little faith in Gustafsson. And that might fucking come to bite us, man. There's definitely a shot that Gus goes out there and he looks as bad as he's ever looked, and Krylov takes him down and controls him for 3 rounds. But to me, I feel like Gus is coming back because he believes he still has a run in him. I think seeing Glover reach the pinnacle had to have inspired him. He beat Glover Teixeira. And if he looks good, I think Gustafsson's still in the mix at the top of the weight class. If he gets 2 wins, can you imagine Gustafsson, Yuri Prohashka? That's a sellable fight. We need Gus to get a W, though. He beat Jan Blachowicz, too. Gus right now is in a good position. With a win over Krylov, it's probably one win away from a title picture, man. I like Gustafsson. We're riding with him.
I mean, guys, just be aware Gustafsson has not won a fight in the UFC since 2017. You know, we have to be sober about that. But, you know, I'm surprised he's a real dog here because, you know, while it's a tough fight to come back to, he might be a bad matchup for Nikita with the boxing and the distance. If he just moves side, he has all the tools he needs to beat Nikita. That I don't question. I just wonder how the engine will be running since the car's been in the garage for so long. Me and AJ are doubling up on the legend though, man. And what you said, AJ, is so true. If he looks impressive, if he gets one of those triple uppercut KOs like he did to Glover Teixeira in this fight, he's right back there in title contention, man. You know, so the light heavyweight division it would welcome him to the top. Could you imagine a nice prime Gustafsson performance, and then we get to see him and Yuri Prochazka? I'm in. Gus Bust, impress us.
Impress us, Gus Bust. Let's hope. Plus 420 for the win by decision as well, which is what I'm leaning towards. So maybe some good luck on your side if you're, you know, if you're into that type of thing. But we do have our guy, Mads Burnell. Let's introduce him now.
All eyes on me.
Mads Burnell, what's up, my brother?
What's up, guys? How you doing, man?
We're good, bro. Good to see you. One of the most exciting fighters in the game, my guy, Mads Burnell. Mads, how you been, my brother? How's training at Extreme Couture? How's the family? How's life?
Everything is good, man. I'm fucking having a great camp out here in Extreme Couture and kind of enjoying the weather. I don't know if I like it or I don't. It's hot as balls out here, but it's cool.
Yeah, 100 degrees, right?
I think it's 120 something.
Holy shit.
It's been like being in an oven. Like, it's crazy.
Where's the tan, bro? I thought you said you're enjoying the weather. What's going on, bro?
I've been going to the pool maybe 3 times or something, but it's not like you're actually in the sun. You stay in the pool. You don't want to stay in the sun, right? It's too hot.
That's right, 100%. Mads, I want to talk to you about your fight coming up and everything, of course, but there's been some fun stuff going on. Me and AJ were talking about it earlier. AJ, there's a big fight of brewing, and it's Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev. Everybody's talking about it. We got to get the Mads Burnell take. Mads, you're picking Nate Diaz by submission, right?
I'd love for Nate to win, but I think this matchup is kind of criminal. Go on. What is criminal about this? I think it's a mismatch. Like, Nate is like, he's been in the game for such a long time, and like, he's not really a welterweight, and Khamzat is like fucking coming up, and he's like a monster right now. You shouldn't have Nate fight that guy. Come on, like. What is in it for Khamzat too? Like, yes, Nate has some name value, but it's not like it's gonna get Khamzat high in the rankings and stuff like that. I think it's stupid that they didn't make Nate for Conor's comeback fight. That is safe money. Everybody want to see a third one.
No, everybody I think they made a mistake.
I think they made a mistake too. That was not a smart move.
But I guess one thing with the Chimaev fight, they're thinking it banks his stock up. He beats up Nate Diaz. You got a lot of casual intrigue, and it pumps the Chimaev train. But realistically, if you know the sport, beating Gilbert Burns is already a bigger win than beating Nate Diaz. He's taking some steps backwards. But name value, you beat up Nate Diaz. Maybe they talk some shit beforehand. It gets intense. I think they're thinking pay-per-view buys are going to be high because let's be honest, Adesanya undersold in recent events, and Ngannou's been selling low. I think the best selling event, was it Usman's fight? I don't know if I'm wrong on that. Somebody that has it in the chat, tell me what the best pay-per-view was this year. It might have been fucking Masvidal Covington, to be honest.
Oh, Jesus, that's crazy.
Even with that being said, I think Masvidal versus Diaz 2 would be better than Khamzat and like Nate. I really don't think it's not a cool matchup.
Yeah,
just slaughtering him.
I heard Chael Sonnen breaking it down, and he was asking why. Why are we doing this fight? What is going on here? And that makes sense to me. Like what's at stake type of thing. Because you like I said, I think if the reason why they're not doing the Conor McGregor fight is because Conor's out for too long, Nate doesn't want to be on the sidelines, Nate wants to be active. Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier. You like that fight, Mads?
Exactly. I was just thinking that when you said that. Nate Diaz versus Poirier, Nate Diaz versus Chandler, Nate Diaz versus Gaethje. There's so many other fights I'd rather like to see than Nate versus Hamza.
And by the way,
Nate versus Tony Ferguson could be fun too.
That's excellent. By the way, I don't want to I don't want to hate on Nate Diaz, but I think he loses all those fights you just mentioned. Tony Ferguson, that would be an interesting one. Mads Burnell, let's be honest. The UFC needs to build somebody because they know Nate Diaz is on the way out. Nate Diaz had his dick out and was pissing on the front lawn. He's out. He's out. He's pissing on the UFC. I wouldn't want to employ somebody who's pissing on my front lawn either, right? So
that makes sense too.
You don't work for Tesla and shit on Elon Musk all day, like leave the company, So if they kick him out, they want to send him out by giving him a tough fight that he probably won't win, and we're putting our promoter hat on here, obviously just speculating. Maybe give him a fight that's gonna pump somebody up. Michael Chandler, for instance. That's why they did the Chandler-Tony Ferguson fight, I think. So that's why they don't want to give him a Tony Ferguson. But Khamzat Chimaev, what the hell is this? This is a mismatch. This is crazy. So you agree with the odds. 10-1 is the proper odds.
Yeah, I don't know anything about odds. And as I always tell people, like, if I go bet on something, ask me what I bet and then pick the opposite. Then you're 100% sure you're going to win every time. I suck at betting.
That's funny, man.
Thank God we got him on the betting show, right, AJ?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, what Mads tells you, I guess you guys doing the other thing. Hopefully he's not on all the same sides as us, though.
Yeah.
Hashtag fade Mads.
Yep.
AJ, lots of big fights here for Mads Burnell to talk about. You got any ones you want to throw out there for him?
I mean, I guess I have to go Paddy Pimblett, Jordan Leavitt. What do you think about this matchup? Paddy the Baddy, he's got this great rise up. He's looking like, maybe he's a super sellable guy.
On back from Denmark already slapped him up a couple of years ago.
You talking about Soren Bach?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he did.
You're not a Paddy the Baddy fan?
I mean, he's funny and all that, but skill-wise, no. I don't think he is that would give him some good, some tough matchups.
Yeah, they don't want to do that, Mads. They got to cash this cow. Come on, son.
Yeah. Understand the business too, and England is a huge market, and he's a superstar in England. So respect to that, and he's doing his part too and shit. But skill-wise, I'm not a fan.
Got you.
But I do respect his hustle and all that shit.
There it is. Yeah, you can't be too much of a fan of Jordan Leavitt, though. You got to be picking him over Jordan Leavitt.
I don't know, man. I haven't watched anything with Jordan Leavitt other than that fucking bullshit he did with twerking. Get that shit out of the cage, please. I don't want to watch that shit. Fucking you smash somebody up and you start twerking. What you think this is? Some TLC fucking music video? No. Fuck that shit.
It is funny, AJ, how much people hate twerking. There was a Bellator.
No. Don't hate twerking. People love twerking. They just don't want to see a fucking fighter stand in the cage and smack somebody up and then start fucking dropping it like it's hot. No. You're the wrong.
True. Okay. Wait, though. I wanted to say that Valerie Lareda in Bellator, she's got a lot to move, right? She did her twerk dance afterwards. People hate on it. People hate the post-fight twerk.
Apparently.
AJ, we're not going to see Mads Burnell twerk on nobody.
Which I'm glad about, man. Glad.
I don't think gangsters don't dance, they boogie.
Mads, this is why we had you on, because you're a gangster, brother. You are a gangster. Mads, in the main event, it's a heavyweight fight. Curtis Blaydes is taking on a star, right? A rising star from across the pond here. What do you think of this matchup? Is Curtis Blaydes going to be able to wrestle, or do you think Tom Aspinall is the truth?
I think Tom Aspinall knocks him out. But to be honest, I'm not interested in that fight. I'm more interested in the co-main event with Chris Curtis and Hermansson. I think that's a better fight. And I love Chris Curtis' style, too. He comes this fucking slug. We actually been last week or 2 weeks ago, we were actually slanging it out in the cage, me and him just standing forehead to forehead and just fucking ripping body shots. That was fun as fuck. So I hope he gets it done versus Jack. And I really think he is like kind of like the MMA's Rocky in a sense, because as far as I understand, 1 year or 2 years ago, he actually wanted to retire. But then he got the shot for UFC and he came in and he got some fucking tough matchup right out the gate, but he demolished them all. So you got to have respect for that. And he did it in dominating fashion. He fought like one of the best grapplers like out there in Rodolfo. He didn't score one takedown on him. He knocked out Phil Hawes and he knocked out Brendan Allen, who's a hot prospect. Like in his first 3 matches, man, got to respect that.
No, he's a problem,
cool.
I think.
It's going to be cool to see how him and Jack is gonna get after it. Like, I think Chris is way better in like his pressure style and his like boxing too than Jack. I don't rate Jack that much in his boxing, but Jack has good wrestling and ground game. But if you can't get close to Chris or you gas, then it's gonna be tough. But it's gonna be a good matchup. And one thing I really do respect about Chris is like he old school in the sense like. He's pretty close to the weight as far as I understand, so he usually don't cut that much, so he can just take fights whenever. I think he took this fight on a week and a half or 2 weeks notice. He fought like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Boom, yeah, somebody fill out that fight. I'm ready to fight Jack Hermansson, so that's cool as fuck.
He's a gangster,
and he's getting paid, bro.
A fucking gangster, yeah.
That's really cool, man. All right, so a couple things you said there. But something I want to dig into, too. He took this fight on short notice. Mads, you're going to know more than us. Don't lie to us. Is he in shape?
Yeah, because he just came from a fight. And he was back in the gym that Monday after the fight.
Stop. Really?
Yeah, but he took 0 damage in that fight. So he was pretty much just stuffing takedowns and dotting Rodolfo up. So he took 0 damage.
Wow. AJ, he informed me on this bet, bro. He's swaying me over to Mr. To the extreme couture fighter, right? Mr. Chris Curtis. Think about that assessment from Mads.
I like it, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil the pick for the people that don't know, but you know, maybe I'm on extreme couture too, man. I'm with him here. I like Curtis's style. I also wanted to ask, Mads, you work out with Sean Strickland often?
No,
okay.
He's a little too big, but he's kind of like he's an inspiration, I would say, because he's in a sense he's kind of like he has the same mentality as I have. Like he's kind of like the middleweight me in a sense. Like he doesn't fucking lift weights, he doesn't run, he doesn't do all this. I call this fucking scam class, which is strength and conditioning, where they tell you to do hopscotch and throw a ball into a wall because that's gonna make you a better fighter. No, you show up, you grapple, and then you spar, and that's it. Like don't fucking I want to be a good fighter, so I'm gonna go run the track. No, you're gonna get cardio by sparring and wrestling and grappling. And he does that. And motherfucker, he throws down with everybody. I see him slanging with Francis, with Gustafsson. Like, he don't give a fuck. That dude just loves to fight. And I think that's cool as fuck.
That's sick. That's
he
sick.
spars Francis Ngannou?
Yeah, I think it was leading up to Ngannou's fight with Stipe. Then I saw him just swinging on Francis.
Stop, bro.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Bro.
He's cool as fuck. He's a character, man.
Oh my God, AJ! This is why he stormed right towards Alex Pereira.
He said like, Ngannou didn't drop me.
Yo, I know that this might be bullshit, right? The only reason Strickland didn't win that fight was because he chose to he fought him with his balls. If Strickland had shot that takedown or like made it to a grappling contest, Strickland beats this guy if he wants to. But he just wanted to prove like the stand-up game. And respect for that, Strickland is a gangster.
No question about it, AJ. Strickland's gangster for sure. Unfortunately for him, he marched right into a missile.
Yeah, that was just bad timing. I got to ask you, Mads, how many days a week you sparring? Because I know Strickland says pretty much every day. You on that same thing?
I do 3 times a week, and then I do so MMA sparring 3 times a week, and then grappling wrestling sparring 3 times a week. But then I do 10 rounds every time I spar. So I do 50 minutes straight.
Holy fuck! No, that's why the cardio is there, bro. It's fucking intensity right there. You don't
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday I spar MMA.
Okay. Holy shit!
And then some days I'll go in on Thursday, and we have pro at 3:30. I'll do pro spar there, and then I'll spar with the amateurs at 7. That's what I'm doing here in a little moment too.
Holy shit, dude! That's driven. So you sparring double session on Thursday.
Yeah, because cardio, the number one cardio is this. This. If you fucking tightening up and scared when people throw at you, you're gonna gas. You just gotta be fucking calm, like you about to fall asleep, and train your defense. There's ways to spar. If you spar hard all the time, that's not good for your brain. So when I go with the amateurs, I'm pretty much just working my defense, letting them punch me and move in, and it's kind of I give myself what do you say? I give myself things I need to do in every certain sparring session.
Okay. No, it's a smart approach to it. Because I'm curious, I guess it's because I see a lot of Strickland. I know he's an extreme couture guy, and it seems like he's just banging and sparring. So it seems like you're going with a methodological style approach, as you move towards each session.
Yeah, for me, it's not about I killed this guy. A good sparring session for me, if I can go without almost getting touched. I'm gonna put pressure on you and all that shit, but it doesn't matter how much I hit you. It's more of how little I got hit.
Oh, okay. That's smart, man. That's smart.
Yeah.
Don't get it. Even I heard Mike Tyson, he talked about something like that on a podcast where we would spar almost every day. And he said, they were like, oh, but what if you're getting hit a lot? He said, well, I wouldn't do it if I'm getting hit. If I got a guy who's getting hit too much, he shouldn't do this.
Exactly. It's if you getting, but boxers also spar different. I think when I see boxers spar, they trying to fuck each other up bad. We don't really do that in MMA as much. I think, I know boxers that is 5 years old, and you can already hear they're talking like that, right? It's not really like that in MMA. I feel.
Yeah, no, I noticed it just because I have boxed, and I know from the sparrings, rarely are you doing a technical sparring session. It's I watch MMA sparring, and I'm like, man, these guys are working without headgear, and they're not fucking knocking one another out. Once in a blue moon, there might be a big shot that lands. These boxers, they're throwing down in the fucking yard, and it's straight warfare, which I think, like you said, man, fucking long-term, abusing the shit out of yourself, sparring 3 days a week, taking fucking damage. That can't be good. I think more technical sparring is leading the way to go.
For me, it's I don't want it to be too technical in a sense that we just touching and I'll let you hit me 50 times. No, it got to be honest, but not with bad intentions. For example, a couple of days ago, I went with I've been sparring a little bit with Ray Siffel, and he's a fucking killer, right? But it's we keeping it honest, and yeah, he hit me. It's oh, look, I could have got you there, and giving me pointers and shit like that. That's super cool. That's also something I learned from, because I feel pads, everybody and their mother is hitting pads every fucking day, but you're not gonna hit anybody with a fucking 5-piece combination. That's not. Oh yeah, maybe if they're rocked, but other than that, it's all about the setups and cutting people off and putting them in the position you want to, and it's about tactics. One thing I feel is very wrong when people spar is they go one round with this dude, another round with another dude, another round with a third guy. You need to go at least 2 to 3 rounds with the same guy, because if I only go one round with every person, then I can't implement my tactics. And number one thing is in fighting is tactics.
Powerful.
That's wisdom right there, bro. That's fucking, you're dropping the real knowledge. That's real shit.
Tactics.
That's genius.
If my plan is to make you think I'm gonna jab you to the body, like all the times. So you're gonna try to block and then come up top with the left hook. That's not gonna work in like one round. I need to like make you think. I need to do that the whole first round. So you think like, that's the only thing he's gonna throw at me. And then in the second round, boom, you come up top with the left hand or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like
the body setting up the left hook to the head doesn't work in one round unless it's Sean Strickland. God damn it, Sean! He got caught with the left hook because he thought
he might slap the shit out of you if he sees this.
Mads, he overparried. Mads, he overparried. No, I got big respect for him, Mads. I don't mean to be too much of a comedian over here. That guy's a gangster. I wish, like you said, he would have shot first. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Mads' boxing knowledge. AJ, he's a boxing historian. Like, Mads reads boxing books and shit, right? Like, give us a good boxing book, Mads. Like, tell us why are you such a fan of the fisticuffs?
I don't know if I have one specific book, but it's more like I like to get to know what they're thinking in certain situations and like how they were training and like, stuff like that. How they cope with like defeat and you can get defeated many ways in life, not only in the cage or the ring, right? So I like to read how they're coping with defeat or let's say their marriage is going wrong or their kid is dying or their mom is sick, like all kind of shit like that. I like to study their mental space, right? Because what I really feel in a sense in fighting, the most important shit in fighting is all the shit that I don't see. You can be fast, quick, a lot of knockout power, great technical, but what really matters is like tactics. Cut the dude off or make him think you running, and then you make him run right into a right hand, or it's the mental shit. That's what matters.
Powerful,
you see, for example, a dude like if you watch Roy Jones Jr., he's probably one of the fucking most superhuman motherfuckers ever. He got knocked out by Glenn Johnson. Do you guys know who Glenn Johnson is?
I do know him, but it's just because I know he's a Florida guy.
Yeah, but he's no technical wonder.
No.
But then again, Roy Jones was maybe going a little bit on the downside and shit, but yeah. Duran taking out Sugar Ray Leonard. If we just talking boxing for boxing, Duran is going to get smoked by Sugar Ray Leonard. But why did he win? Because he implemented the right tactics. He was hanging on him, fucking beating him to the body, like all that shit. Yeah, I really love that.
That's sick, dude. The OG boxing is something else, man. When you look back in the fucking 70s.
Motherfuckers suck at boxing today.
It's not the same sport. It's not the same.
No. You know why? Because you have referees like Kenny Blaydes. As soon as people clinch, they're like, stop. Shut the fuck up, man. Let them fight out of that clinch. You know what they should implement in boxing? You have 3 clinches per round. I do this. 3. If you clinch one more time than three times, you get a point deduction.
That's interesting. I've never even heard that brought up before.
Because I want to see that Mexican shit where they stand forehead to forehead and just fucking slang into the body, into the head like Gaddy Ward. That's what people want to see. Why do you think nobody want to tune into boxing no more? Because it's jab and grab. That's what all these motherfuckers is doing. They playing the game, but we want to see a fight. Mayweather might be the best at the game, but I'd much rather watch Arturo Gatti fight any fucking day of the week, or Mickey Ward, because they bring it. They come to fight.
No, I agree. Like I right now, I guess in boxing, I like Tank Davis's style. I like that he's knocking good. People out. But like then you look,
Garcia's good too.
Yeah,
Ryan
Bivol, what is it? Dimitri Bivol up a weight. Beterbiev, I like his pressure. I like his style. There's certain guys that still have it, but then you got a lot of guys throughout it all that are just technical decision machines. You're working a jab, you're moving. Like, I don't know. I mean, the Charlo brothers occasionally get knockouts, but I do feel like they're kind of in that boat for me, whereas I don't get excited to watch them fight. I'm thinking, it's probably going the fucking distance. I want to see somebody get dropped. And it's not, I understand some fights are going to go fucking long, but I like to see warfare. I don't know. MMA always, for the most part, it's true warfare. Sometimes boxing, you watch that this is just turning into sport fighting. Jab, move.
But see, for me, I actually much rather want to watch a fight that goes to the decision if it's like a Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo, the first one, or it's a Gatti Ward, the first one. I'm like, no, please, I don't want this knock. Like, nobody has to get knocked out because I want to watch more. It's so exciting. But then you have Mayweather's like, yeah, somebody please get a knockout. Let's get this shit over with. It's boring.
Yeah.
I need to wake up early tomorrow. Fuck this.
Yes, these guys are you could call it point fighting, right? Like you said, you don't like jab and grab. Vladimir Klitschko made a career out of that, man. That
he did.
Style, right?
And he still got the knockouts, and nobody want to watch him fight.
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
Solid. Hey, people like to watch Mads Burnell fight. If you guys have not seen Mads Burnell go to war, he's been in the UFC. He's currently in Bellator. He is a phenomenal talent to watch. And we got good news, ladies and gentlemen. He's booked. My birthday month, September, he will be in Dublin, Ireland, and he got the fight he wanted. He got Pedro Cavallo. That is going to be super fun. Mads, talk to me about this fight.
What I want to know, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to slap him the fuck up, and then I'm going to cash a check and get a Guinness in front of his home crowd.
Let's fucking go. Let's go, Mads. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, Mads, I've been
maybe if he behaves, I'll donate some money for a fucking hair transplant for him. Motherfucker is 26, dude. Look how have you seen like 17 going 30 or something? Motherfucker's like 26 going 60.
Holy Mads, have you ever thought about a side job as a stand-up comedian? You bring the heat, brother. You bring the heat.
Yeah, maybe I'll do some open mic one day. Call my man Dave Chappelle. Actually, I like that new guy, Andrew Schultz. He's pretty cool. He cool with it. I like that.
There you go. There you go. Hey, you're in Vegas, man. You got the opportunity right there. I know there's an open mic every night. Go grab it. Hey, with this Pedro Cavallo fight, what are you trying to accomplish with this fight? And if you do get this knockout, what are you looking to do here? What are your goals in Bellator?
My goals is to get fucking paid and then eventually end up with the belt. But I do understand now I need to take a step back because I just had a fight with Adam that didn't go my way. And now I'm going to fight my way. What?
Great fight.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun in there. But I understand that I got to work my way back up. So I want to fuck up Pedro. And then eventually, of course, I'm not overlooking Pedro. I respect him as an opponent. I respect the skill set he brings and all that shit. Nothing about that. I'm not overlooking him. But when I smack him up, I want to get Weichel next, and I'm going to turn that motherfucker into a Venus Schnitzel quicker than he can say Auf Wiedersehen.
AJ, do you see what I'm saying with the stand-up comedy, bro? This guy's sharp.
Mads, I think Bellator needs to have you in front of the camera more, man. You got the good.
Yeah, I hope there's going to be like a press conference, but I don't know. But the thing is, you know what? In the gym, I always talk a lot of fucking shit to everybody. Like, we talking mad shit all the time. But then in the press conference, I was like, oh, man, it's maybe going across the line to talk this and that shit. But then here comes Danny Sabateo. And this motherfucker is dropping the F-bomb left and right. And I'm like, okay, they like that shit. I got something for you.
Bring it.
Bring it, man.
That's what I mean.
Bring it out, Mads. Honestly, man, I remember Mads back when you fought Arnold Allen, and that's when I was a fan. I said, shit, Mads is fucking good, man. And then now seeing you in Bellator, I think you got a nice run coming up, man, and I look forward to it. I'm a fan of the style, but I like your personality too, Mads. You bring the heat, bro. You're a marketable fucking guy. I hope that we get this win with Carvalho and they fucking give you that push, man, as I think they need somebody.
Then, like, if I can say something, I think Bellator have treated me very good. Like, I came in within 3 fights, I was fighting for like #1 contender spot. I think they've done a great job. Like,
I like that.
Yeah, I think Bellator, like, 3 fights and I'm in a main event.
That is good. Yeah,
that is pretty good.
Yeah, they're doing you right, Mads. I like seeing it. You got a lot of guys.
I think Bellator have been doing me right.
That's good.
They're very good. And man, I like, and it's not just to be like a fucking biased and shit, but like the staff, everybody is fucking nice every time you're talking to them. I like it, man. It's a pleasure working with Bellator.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear, man. The inside scoop from Mads Burnell. That's what I like to hear. I know Finchman's working over there as well from the other side.
That's right.
Yeah, like last time, for example, right? This was fucking cool. So I'm a huge James Toney fan, right? So I check into the hotel and then I talk with Bert. You know, let's get. What is he saying? Like, we rolling, right? I'm talking to Bert. Yeah, so I'm talking to Bert. We talk about boxing, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We talk back and forth, and I tell him I'm a huge James Toney fan. It's like, oh, that's cool. Fine. I go back to my room the next day. Some of the Bellator staff is texting me like, yo, Mads, you need to come downstairs. Like, Bert wants to talk to you. I'm like, what does he want to talk with me about right now? That it was kind of like in a serious tone. I was like, is something wrong or something? So I go downstairs and like Bert takes me under his arms, like, come here, my guy. And like we walk down like a hallway and he's like, sit here. He sits me on the couch and then he turns around and he picks up his phone. He's like, yeah, man, I got it right here. And then he turns around and he's like, here, somebody want to talk with you. It's like, who the fuck want to talk with me? So I look at the phone and it says Tony. Like, no, shut the fuck up. You just didn't call James Toney. I'm like, and I started becoming a fanboy. I was like, hello? It's like, yeah, man, this is Lights Out. What's up, baby? It's fucking James Toney. He called James Toney, right? And told him I was a huge fan. I'm like, oh, well, Mr. Toney, I just want to tell you, like, to me, you one of the best ever. And your fight with Aaron Barkley is like my favorite fight ever. And blah. Oh, man, that's fucking cool. I'm happy to hear that. So who we knocking out, baby? Who we knocking out like that? And we just talked a little bit back and forth. It was cool as fuck. I was starstruck. That's a motherfucker.
Hell yeah. Bert's the man. Work for Bert Watson, the babysitter to the stars. What good energy, man. That's excellent. Bert, of course, came from boxing. He was a boxing manager first.
He was?
Works his way in MMA. That's right. You got to ask him, man. He's managed some serious pros.
He even showed me, like, because I posted, like, thank you, Bert, for putting me up with this call with James Toney, and then I tagged Bert and James Toney. Then he showed me that Sugar Ray had apparently seen it and texted Bert something like, that's what you do, man. You're such a good guy. I was like, oh, that's cool. Fucking Sugar Ray, too. Give me a call with that guy, too.
Yeah, I want the call with Sugar Ray. I want the call with Sugar Ray, man. Come on, man. You're spoiled. It's my turn. That's awesome, man. Bert Watson, for those of you guys who don't know, is the OG. He's been in this game for a long time. When I was a kid watching the UFC, that's what I always saw. Bert Watson in the back. Yo, Knight. Yo, fight. Get it right, baby. Exactly. I know all of his lines from being a kid. So it's cool to work with him in Bellator, right?
Your night, your fight. And what is the last thing?
Get it right, baby. You know, always the don't leave it to the judges lines. I could go all day, man. One of his favorites, all night long. So I'm gonna have to get him an all night long shirt. We're gonna hook Bert up. All right.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
He's cool.
Mads, good to have you on. We can't take your whole day. You got anything else for him, AJ?
Mads, I appreciate you coming in, man. Anytime,
course, man.
bro.
Thanks for having me. You're my guys right there.
Let's go, Mads. You're the dude, bro. Listen, I definitely will have you back on soon. Gotta keep it rolling with Mads.
Let me know, and I'll be happy to join.
My guy.
I want to talk to you before your fight, Mads. Mads is fighting in September. We'll get him on, and I'll do a full interview with you on Mike Finn Show. And yeah, we would love to have you on here, man. Here's a predictions show. So when you got a prediction boiling, you hit us up. We're gonna give you a platform.
Let me ask you something, because there's Bellator tomorrow. Who you got in the main event, Lima or Jackson?
He can't say anything. I can give it to you, but I don't think he's gonna tell you.
Anything. So Mike, you out.
Me, bro, I'm going Lima, win by decision.
Yeah, I go in Lima too. Too much experience, like too well-rounded.
And he's back in Thailand too for this camp.
But Jackson is good though.
Yes, he is.
Jackson's good, and something you guys might not know, Lima missed weight today. Lima missed weight by 2 pounds today. If you guys look historically, when guys miss weight, they lose. That's not a sure thing, but I don't like seeing that he missed weight. I rode on the bus. It was just me and Jason Jackson and his main cornerman, and we rode on the bus all the way back, just us three. And I heard them talking. Those guys take that as a confidence builder for them. Those guys take that, and they're like, it's in the bag at this point. They feel like Douglas Lima missed weight because he's about to gas out because he's not ready for Jason Jackson. It's a good fight. That's my prediction.
See, for me, that shit never really mattered with weight miss and shit. Like 2 pounds, what is that? That's a fucking Gatorade. Like a fucking Gatorade is gonna win you or lose you a fight. You know what I mean? In the gym, we slanging leather with middleweights, welterweights, like all that shit. You always go a little bit up and down in weight class with who you train with. So, man, if I can give Lima an advice, he probably knows he's a fucking vet. Who the fuck am I? But if I can give Lima an advice and Jackson, just focus on yourself.
Yeah. That's good advice to cap it off on with Mads Burnell. So Mads is taking Douglas Lima. Oh shit, we broke some news here today. Mads,
but Lima is also one of my favorite fighters.
There it is. He's a gangster.
That motherfucker, he nice with it.
Oh yeah. Clean
Look, I got 2 girls spoiling me right here. I got Casey, O'Neal, and Taylor coming in. Francis.
Thank you for the Francis cameo.
Thank you. That's cool, guys.
Mads, thank you for coming on, brother. We really appreciate your time. Take your time hanging out with the ladies and Francis Ngannou. Good to see you.
Have a good one, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Much love, Mads. Peace, brother.
Thank you, man. Peace.
All eyes on me.
Ooh.
You have me big. I like that. Oh, okay. All right. There we go.
Down. How
Mads
good is Mads? He's the guy, bro. He's genius with the way he talks about the fight game, man. I was so impressed by that, and that's gonna be something I carry into later predictions, knowing the fucking brain on this guy. He's a smart man. I like the style. I like the personality. Mads Burnell's the fucking dude, man. Maybe a bigger fan talking to him.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got the chance to sit down with him for an hour. If anybody wants to check that out, it's on YouTube. Type in Mike Finch, Mads Burnell, and just listening to his boxing knowledge, AJ. The guy is a real student of boxing. He really, really cares. It really inspires him. He's dead serious when he says this shit. I spar every day, and I don't, he's dead serious. He lives this shit. So when you see Mads in there and people are throwing punches at him and he's rolling with the punches, he does this with a confidence that's really hard to match, man. He always, I believe, anybody Mads Burnell stands in there and throws punches with, Mads Burnell knows more about boxing and knows that he knows more about boxing than they do. So he just always has that little extra confidence, I got to say, he knows more about boxing than me, but I can relate to that in the sense that when I was an amateur fighter, I used to fight these guys who'd been training for 4 years or whatever. I know they don't know as much as me. It gives you a confidence, right? Mads Burnell's a true boxing historian, man. I got a lot of respect for that guy. And it's just an exciting fighter. Come on, you got to love it.
He's the guy. I love that interview, man. Now let's jump back to the picks. We got 3 fights remaining. Pimblett, Leavitt, Finch, man. Paddy Pimblett, I believe, is going to sling some fucking leather in this matchup. He talked about it. He wants to take Leavitt's head off. Limited stand-up game from Jordan Leavitt, but what does he bring that's dangerous is the grappling. He's not easy to deal with on the floor. He's awkward. He's not super quick, but he's heavy on top. Like, I feel like Pimblett's more slick with the jiu-jitsu, but Leavitt may be heavier with the pressure. They stand up. I like Pimblett better. I don't love him, though. I'm banking on Paddy Pimblett to win. I'm leaning the KO side, but I'm also kind of torn on the submission. What do you think, Mike? Give me a take on this one. I'm lost here.
Paddy Pimblett this is the right fight for him at the right time. He is one of the UFC's rising stars, and what they want to do is bring him up in fights that are going to make sense for him, where he can build his confidence, build his win streak. This is the right matchup, AJ, because what I'm nervous about for Paddy Pimblett is somebody who can stop the takedown, create separation, and let their strikes go. Because when Paddy Pimblett throws punches, he likes to plant his feet like he's a tree, and you can hit him back, right? Jordan Leavitt's not the right customer to knock Paddy Pimblett out. So now we go down to the grappling. That's where Paddy Pimblett lives. So while it might be a little bit more competitive than some of Paddy's other previous fights, he actually did get tagged in his last fight, so I would call that competitive. I do think this is tailor-made for a good Paddy Pimblett performance, man. And when Paddy Pimblett is able to get a little bit going. He's a finisher too. So I could see Paddy finishing this fight. I could see a dominant decision. I will say that I think the crowd noise will play a little bit into this. Jordan Leavitt has to feel it. He's got to feel that he's the guy who was brought in here to lose in this one. He's in London. It's going to be loud. It's going to be obnoxious. He's going to get some beer thrown on him. How is Leavitt going to adjust to that? I don't know. How is Paddy Pimblett going to adjust to that? He just did it. He was just in that crazy atmosphere and just performed. I think Paddy Pimblett's going to put on one of his better performances here. I got to go with the baddie. And he says he's going to teabag him afterwards. Leavitt's going to twerk. Guys, we don't need no X-rated shit after this fight's over, all right? Can we just do a hand raise here? I don't need to see it.
That's funny, bro. The lines for this matchup, Pimblett is -260, Leavitt +200. We saying inside of the distance with Pimblett?
Woo! He's gonna want it, guys. Yeah. I think he'll get to mount and sling a TKO or even face crank for a rear naked choke or something. I think he wants this finish, guys. I don't think Paddy's satisfied unless he gets this finish.
It's -120 inside distance, +255 by KO, and Pimblett by sub is +265. I'm banking on Paddy the Baddie. I say he gets it done. I'm saying he's gonna do it inside of the distance. I'm going to lean maybe towards the KO side because Leavitt's grappling skill set, but I definitely think it's not impossible for sub by Paddy the Baddie, and I think he beats Jordan Leavitt here. He's got to beat him. He has to. He has to. Absolutely.
With the intangibles coming into this fight, it does play a factor. I just saw a comment here. Hating on us. Let me see if I can find it. Dirty Dan, you're only going with Paddy because he has the clout. Dirty Dan, it's important to understand that these are human beings and that they're not like video game characters. The clout comes into the cage. Because the whole crowd is on Paddy's side, because people are picking Paddy, and there's that's a lot for Leavitt to deal with. It's just another hurdle for Leavitt to overcome. It's not just their naked skills against each other. All the other factors will play into this fight. I was just talking about how Khamzat Chimaev got into the crowd, and that's why he got in that war with Gilbert Burns. I seriously think if it was only Dana White in the audience and it was at the Apex, Khamzat wouldn't have fought like that. Same exact thing here. I think Paddy turns it up for the finish because of where they're at, because of the circumstances. Those things do make a difference.
Let's go. Paddy Pimblett for the win from Mike and I. Let's get to the co-main. Jack Hermansson, Chris Curtis. We just had Mads talking about Chris. Listen, I'm on the action, man. I think he's going to defend the takedowns, and he's going to land punches on Jack Hermansson. Does he sleep Jack? I have a hard time seeing it, but I feel like he's going to get it done, man. I don't know. Jack Hermansson lately, too, hasn't been impressing me a ton. I feel like he's going to struggle with Chris Curtis's explosiveness and boxing skills, and the takedown defense, I think, is just too sturdy. I'm saying Chris Curtis gets the hand raised. What do you think, Finch, man? What do you think happens here?
I first have to give a shout-out to Kevin El Basri. $10. Thank you,
Our
sir.
guy.
He put up the 4-0 Mike Baby Grinch Finch. All right, first off, he knows I'm 5-0, and he did that because Tapology took down one of my wins. I had to go, what the hell happened? They gave it to some other Mike Finch who's not the right Mike Finch. So I'm back to 5-0. Check Tapology, Kevin. Guys, they put my win back, and you guys can watch the fight on YouTube. I'm not bullshitting. I'm not who's the heavyweight who was bullshitting with the record?
Ashkar Mozarov.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is. Who knows?
This ain't some Mozarov shit, okay? Kevin El Basri, you're the man. We appreciate that. Jack Hermansson is very dangerous on the ground, right? I was training with, I shouldn't overstate it. I sparred a couple times with Kelvin Gastelum before he fought Jack Hermansson, and I saw how good Kelvin was looking on the feet, how strong his wrestling was looking. Kelvin went for one takedown. Jack Hermansson ended up leg locking him. It's like Jack Hermansson's a guy who can pull a win out even when he has a striking and wrestling disadvantage. He could still find a way to win. I think that is the case, though. I do think that Chris Curtis is the better striker here. I like the forward pressure. I like where he's at in his career right now, mentally, physically. I like what Mads Burnell just told us, AJ. To hear that he's in shape, sparring hard with Mads Burnell, who's a dog. Mads Burnell does not give love to just anybody. If you're in there going body shots at Mads Burnell, I know you're tough. And, of course, we already knew that about Chris Curtis. I'm going to double up with AJ, guys. I do think that Chris Curtis gets this done. Is it a finish or a decision? I don't know. Let's be conservative and just money line it.
Money line's the way to go here because the value's great. Curtis, you can find him at -115 to -120 range. Hermansson around -110. Very close line here. I'm picking Curtis to win by decision at +335 as well. I like Chris Curtis, guys. We're going with him. I think he beats Jack Hermansson. I think he's going to be impressive. And this is the first time I've ever picked Chris Curtis. I have to stop doubting the man. I gotta show him the love because he proved me wrong a lot, and he commented on one of the fucking videos too. What the fuck? Like some shit. Yeah, a while back after Hollis fight. As I said he was gonna get beat up, bro, and then I said, shit.
He got you. That's awesome.
He got me, man. He got me.
Yeah, he's been impressive, AJ.
Yeah, he has. I like Chris Curtis. He wins. We're riding with him. And you want to jump to the main event, Finch, man? You ready for it?
Let's do this.
Let's talk about it. It is Curtis Razor Blaydes versus Tom Aspinall main event. Woo! Guys, smash the likes and subscribe if you're new. Keep it locked in at MMA Experts and, of course, the money line every Thursday. Mike, when you look at Tom Aspinall, is he the next great British heavyweight? Or maybe is he really the first great British heavyweight? Have we had a great?
Yeah.
He's the best ever from England.
You can't even say next because he is, man. You know, I would put Tyson Fury up there, but if we're talking our sport, right?
Oh yeah, MMA.
Yeah, he is the truth, man. He's got the speed and what people constantly compliment his athletic ability, which is big and which is important. I think the most impressive thing is his IQ. I think the most impressive thing is the amount of tools that Tom Aspinall has shown us that he has. His jiu-jitsu, people still don't understand, is significantly better than these heavyweights, man. The division he's in is just wide open for a great submission artist like him, who also has the physical attributes, who also has the fight IQ. Listen to Tom Aspinall, AJ. He says that the difference that he has with these other guys, he mentioned the speed, he called it decision-making. He said the biggest difference that he has with these other heavyweights is he's great at decision-making, no hesitation in that cage. He pulls the trigger. I've seen it. We both jumped on him on the last fight. He absolutely blew his opponent out of the water. I can't say that it's going to go down like that on this fight, but Tom Aspinall is just a force to be reckoned with, and the world is about to find out. Before I give my prediction, AJ, would you agree with the assessment that this is one of the smartest heavyweights in the division?
I would say the fight IQ right now seems top line. I love the way he mixed in the takedowns with Volkov with the striking. Then he gets the body lock trip, straight arm lock. These are things we haven't really seen, in this new era at heavyweight. You see guys that are either really good at grappling or really good at striking. You got Aspinall who can do both at a high level. I mean, you look at Blaydes Volkov, he had a hard time. It was a, fairly competitive fight. Aspinall runs through him. I don't necessarily think MMA math is going to give you the prediction here, but I think that Tom Aspinall, if it goes to the mat, I have a hard time seeing Curtis Blaydes being able to just sit on top of him. I don't think he'd be easy to deal with from the bottom. If it's striking, I think Curtis Blaydes is getting outsped. I think that Aspinall finds the target a lot better. I think he touches the chin of Blaydes. Prediction of method of victory, I lean towards KO. It's heavyweight. But if he caught Blaydes in a submission, especially after maybe hurting him, club and stub situation, would I be shocked? No. What do you think, Finch?
Woo! Club and sub. Look, I love my guy Curtis Blaydes, but he did let Nicky Rodriguez post videos of them grappling where I saw this phenomenal heavyweight grappler getting on his back and rear naked choking him over and over again. And when I saw that, I'm thinking about Tom Aspinall on top of him. I'm like, man, let me back up. Curtis Blaydes gave us the pleasure of coming on Moneyline. I mean, we gotta show love to Curtis Blaydes. Like, I want to say that I'm rooting for Curtis Blaydes. I am rooting for Curtis Blaydes. Here's another thing that people are sleeping on is Curtis Blaydes' decision making. I believe Curtis when he says he's not going to repeat the same mistakes he made against Derek Lewis. What he said happened in that fight was he forced the shot. If you guys listened to him at the press conference, I love to hear that because before you solve a problem, you have to understand what happened, right? And I do think he understands what went wrong in that Derek Lewis fight. If you guys remember, he was winning that fight handily up until that point without wrestling. He was beating Derek on the feet. So I think there's a pathway here for wrestling and boxing for Curtis Blaydes to get this thing done. With that being said, I think he's fighting the prospect in the heavyweight division. You know, and I saw somebody in the comments say that, here, Sinister FX, Aspinall and Romanov, the future. You know, that's yeah, exactly. I mean, those two guys are just seem to be at another level here. Curtis Blaydes is one of the top heavyweights in the world. I think he's cemented in that top 10. I gotta think Aspinall gets it done here, man. With all the respect in the world I have for Curtis Blaydes, man. If Curtis Blaydes posts something on Facebook and I comment, he'll hit me back. Like, Curtis is the man. I love Curtis Blaydes. I have to pick with my head and not my heart. My head tells me the speed advantage. The overall, martial arts skill set is much better for Mr. Tom Aspinall. I do think he's the better striker here. And then on the ground, he's the better submission artist. Despite Curtis Blaydes potentially being the better wrestler, certainly very, very tiring in the wrestling department, especially over 5 rounds. I'm going to go ahead and pick Tom Aspinall. And I think he can get this thing done by submission, knockout. I mean, he could finish this fight, AJ.
I think that he's gonna, man. I'm very excited to see Tom Aspinall get the toughest test, period, that he could. I think this is an extremely hard fight because you're fighting Curtis Blaydes, who, I mean, let's be honest, has hands too. He hits hard. He fights well from distance with the boxing. As it gets closer, I think Aspinall has a little bit of an advantage. I'm really curious to find out, and that is what we're going to see here with this Aspinall-Blaydes fight. Is he that guy? We're banking on yes. I like the value of the lines here. You got minus 135 for Aspinall, Blaydes plus 105. I feel like Aspinall to win by KO TKO plus 190 is not a terrible play. But as we said, submission could be in the bounds, right? So plus 650 for sub, better line. Props are tricky here. I like the money line attack, and I like Tom Aspinall.
I like Tom Aspinall as well, man. My guy, Kevin El-Basri. Let's face it, Curtis Blaydes is a little slow. Okay, I'll face that with you. But as we face that fact, Kevin, you face it. Curtis Blaydes' striking is better than it's ever been. And with that heavyweight power, I mean, Jesus, man, he could put anybody out. You know, I don't think Tom Aspinall wants to be on the other end of a Curtis Blaydes uppercut or cross. Curtis Blaydes can put people away. And Kevin, admit to me this, in the top position, even though Tom Aspinall's guard is great and whatnot, he could drop those elbows down like he did against Alistair Overeem. There are pathways for Curtis to win this fight. I'm gonna. It sounds like Kevin's on our side as well. I gotta go with AJ's pick as well. I do think that Tom Aspinall is the truth, guys. And I think the more we see him, the more we'll find out just how deep his skill set really is.
Yeah, I think so. I want to find out more. I want to see Aspinall get the win here. And I mean, can you imagine an Aspinall and Ngannou fight, Aspinall Ciryl Gane fight? There's so many big fights on the horizon here.
I'm loving it. Absolutely. Aspinall Romanov, from the guy who commented earlier. Yeah.
I think Romanov's going to get exposed with a lack of cardio. He did, but I mean, he did lean up a bit. So I'm going to be honest, that could be an incorrect take because he lost weight. But when you saw him against, the name's escaping me, Espinoza, he was struggling late. He was gassing. Then he drops, 30 pounds. He looks in a lot better condition, probably for that mindset of, hey, I want to be ready to go longer, which could maybe play his game. So we'll see what Romanov right now, though. Aspinall is the dude. I say he beats Curtis Blaydes, and we're looking at title picture. He's right there. He's knocking on the door. Probably doesn't get the next shot. Maybe one away. Maybe fights Ciryl.
I could see that. Yes, I think Ciryl Gane versus our Shui guy, Tai Tuivasa, is going to be fun. I think that's a mismatch as well, though. I do think it sounds like AJ's thinking Ciryl Gane since you matched those two up, right? So, I think that's fun, man. You know what, though? It's a total mismatch on the ground. If a Curtis Blaydes or a Tom Aspinall gets on top of Ciryl Gane, from what I saw in that Francis Ngannou fight, we got some work to do, Ciryl Gane. We need to get you in jiu-jitsu class, buy yourself a gi, get on the damn mat. We need to learn like a shrimp, underhooks. Like it was that bad against Francis. So somebody like Tom Aspinall will smoke a striker like that once it hits the mat.
Agreed. I'm with you, Finch, man. I think we got a great main, a solid card, a good slew of picks. I like the agreement at the top. And we have to talk the lock of the night. Money line lock of the night for myself and the Finch man. Mike, I'll let you go first. Let's see what magical concoction you have this week. Because last week you had a good one with Leach. I believe I went with Soriano last week. I'm like 85% sure. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know.
Hey, there it is. Hey, well then you guys are happy you tuned in, right? You guys are a little richer after all that. Oh my God! Do I have to lock Aspinall over Curtis Blaydes? Is this really what I'm doing right now? Look, it just makes sense to me, right? Tom Aspinall is the truth. I don't think the lines are too wide. Correct me if I'm wrong, AJ. Hit me with the line.
The line is close. Minus 135 Aspinall, plus 105 Blaydes.
Yeah, I think people just don't know yet. Dig into Tom Aspinall's fights as I have, and you will see a guy who has more skills than almost any other heavyweight we've seen. He has the skills that you would expect from more of a 155er. You wouldn't expect the depth of the skills that Tom Aspinall has. He can box, he can wrestle, his jiu-jitsu is excellent, and you're about to see a full, well-rounded game. Curtis Blaydes does have a pathway here. It's a victory. That's with his power in his hands and his wrestling. But I do think that it would make sense to go ahead and lock Aspinall. I'll take him as my lock of the night.
Let's go. Mike, I'm going to pull a Finch. I'm going Paul Craig. Lock of the night. Win by submission. I'm going with him. I think he's going to beat Oezdemir. He's plus money. I got to take a plus money stab at a lock here. We're going plus 135. It's actually upwards of plus 140 for Paul Craig to win. If you like the sub line, which is what I'm riding with here, Paul Craig submission plus 215. We're going Paul Craig underdog money line lock of the night this week. We're pulling a Finch here. Let's go, baby.
I love it. Hey, sub though? Sub or money line?
Sub. No, money line's the lock. Money line's the lock. Sub though. Sub prop it. Sub prop a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But money line lock.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I like it, AJ. I like that you're taking a little risk there. It makes it fun for everybody, right?
Let's go.
It feels so good when they cash too. You're like, oh yeah, I got the underdog. That's a nice one.
Let's go. Let's go, Finch, man. Let's jump to the $100 parlay.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
If you are looking to play any of the parlays, the money line bets, you can check it out on my bookie. Use code MONEYLINE. You get yourself a 50% bonus on what you deposit, and it helps the boys out to continue for the show to rise upward, for my bookie to re-sign us. If you guys could jump in there, sign up, use the code, you can throw $10 in there. I believe actually minimum deposit might be $20, but you can throw $20 in there. And you know what? Maybe you never even place a bet. Maybe you just did it for the boys. You know what I'm saying? It's essentially an extended donation. It helps us out, and we really appreciate. Much love to everybody. Let's talk about the parlays. Mike, what do you have concocted this week for us?
Look, I think our Patty the Batty and Molly Meatball linking up is a decent little play, guys. I do think that they sort of built this card around Patty the Batty and Molly Meatball, and the matchups, the way they're looking, just seem to favor them pretty heavily for me. If you want to spice that thing up, throw Chris Curtis in there. Chris Curtis money line, Patty the Batty, Molly Meatball, 3 right there for a little $100 parlay.
Plus 225 for the Finch man's $100 parlay. Now, for myself, I am going to ride with something a little bit different. I'm going to take Tom Aspinall in my slate. I'm going to parlay it up with Paul Craig. We're banking on both the locks of myself and Finch man. Plus 310 for that one. You want to add just a little more steam to it and you're looking value, you jump on plus 665 with Chris Curtis. Now, of course, if you looked at this week's Best MMA Bets, I talked about some plays, with some bigger favorites. You can play somebody like a Diakiese and an Aspinall with, a Patty the Batty and a Molly McCann. You're still getting plus 285, decent money, but you got a lot of fights and you got wider odds. So something to note. Also think Mason Jones is maybe a decent play. Brings you to plus 395 if you added him. But I like the more, less fighters, better odds Let's cash it with that. Those are the parlays that I'm feeling this week. The true $100 one, though, is the first one. Aspinall, Paul Craig. Get yourself a little something nice. Let's go.
Hey, get yourself something nice. Our 2 locks put together. I like that, man. You know, I have trouble getting out on that limb and going Paul Craig just because Oezdemir is, I think, the better striker wrestler. But yeah, man, I could see it. I could see where you're coming from there, AJ. And you know what, guys? It is nice to have a 2-fight parlay instead of a 3-fight parlay. I try to keep them short. You know, we talked to our guy from MyBookie, and that was the advice. I actually try to take that advice. So if you're doing parlays, quit being a freaking animal and doing a 10-fight parlay. Get yourself some money. I do think the Scousers are going to get it done. I do think Patty the Batty, Molly Meatball have favorable matchups here. Molly via left hook, boom, right hand, boom, over the top, and Patty the Batty gets it done in usual fashion. Some big punches and maybe some ground and pound, and just you know, fighting a guy who's not super dangerous for him. So I like it, brother. And you're in with Tom Aspinall too. It sounds like AJ and I are kind of heavy on Tom Aspinall. I know some of you guys are saying, you know, Curtis Blaydes is the veteran, this and that. We have big respect for Curtis. I'm rooting for Curtis. It's hard for me to come out here and pick Tom, but I did it. Tom Aspinall is going to win this fight.
Let's go. Let's go, Finch, man. I'm going Aspinall. I'm rooting Aspinall. Team Tom for the Dubskis over our guy, Curtis Blaydes. Much love to him. Finch, man. Much love to you on the road, still making it happen. Shows popping as always. We had a killer interview with Mads Burnell. We had some great picks. This has been a fucking fantastic episode, man. We've killed it. If you guys are watching live and you haven't smashed the like button, make sure to. If you're watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang. Much love to each and every one of you guys. Moneyline coming at you each and every week, Thursday. It seemed like that 8 o'clock time slot might be the money zone. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. But I'm kind of feeling decent about it, bro. That the numbers were pretty smooth on our end. I like what I'm seeing.
Good shit, guys. Hey, we want to put on the show for you guys. So if this works better for you guys, let us know in the comments. As AJ always says, if you even leave a W in the comments, it helps us out. The algorithm pumps us more. We want to keep putting on these shows for you guys. We don't even charge for our picks. It's all free. It's all love. So share the stuff. And as AJ already said, guys, the biggest thing you could do is to help us out is use that promo code Moneyline when you go to MyBookie. When you guys bet, it gives you an extra 50% bonus, and it helps us out, keeps us a nice sponsor. MyBookie's been awesome so far, and we would like to keep them on. So let's go ahead and do it, guys. MyBookie, promo code Moneyline, and you're showing the show some love. We appreciate it.
Much love to everybody watching. Finch, man, much love to you for another fantastic episode. We continue to kill it, brother. Let's go. Road to 100 shows. We're at 31. We'll be at 50 before we know it. Let's fucking keep killing it, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, you guys got fights all weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Bellator 283 tomorrow night. The prelims are free on YouTube. How much? Free? Yes, free on YouTube. Check those out. You're criminal if you don't watch free prelims. And then, of course, the whole freaking UFC card is badass. So fist fights on Friday, fist fights on Saturday. Enjoy yourself this weekend.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and also check out the Finch Man's channel, The Mike Finch Show, and check him out, Mike Finch MMA and The Mike Finch Show on your social media platforms. He's giving technique breakdowns. I'm learning a lot from Mike Finch. I learned that question mark kick. I said, shit, I get that flexibility right. I'll be knocking people out with that thing.
My favorite kick, man. If I'm sparring somebody really good, right away I'm trying to set up a question mark kick because it works on everybody. So try it at home.
Let's go. Finch, man, much love. People, much love. Peace. And we will see you all in the next one. Have a great night, everybody.